back at the historic half mile, not only to kick off the week of Indy, but also to honor the founder of the United States Auto Club, Mr. Tony Hulman, and the man who brought prominence back to Speedway, Indiana with the Great American Race. Hello, race fans. My name is Brian Holbert along with Drake York, and welcome to tonight's presentation of the United States Auto Club featuring the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship. It is the Tony Hulman Classic, and like I said, many of Indy great had to pass through this half mile.
You're exactly right, Brian, and we can just sit here all day talking about the great drivers that have came through here, past and present. I mean, still a really great field of drivers and future legends that we'll see in action here tonight at the Terre Action Track. But kicking off the week of Indy, granted, it's a little bit shorter than we wanted with the cancellation of the, or rather postponement of the Hoosier 100 at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. But Brian, one of my favorite weeks of the year, we get to go to Terre, Haute, and Circle City, all on the run up to the 110th Indianapolis 500. One of the best weeks of the year, the week of Indy, no question.
It really is, and talking about one of those drivers who is a legend in motorsports, obviously a Triple Crown champion with the United States Auto Club, has gone on to NASCAR, and that's J.J. Yeley back behind the wheel of the Rick Horn number 51 here tonight, and it just, everything kind of worked out to where he could bring that car here. And oh, by the way, talking about that success, this car very much built the way that car was in the years that he was dominating.
Yeah, especially with the coil-over front ends, and he's got FloRacing on the wrenches tonight, and Flea is just a mechanical mastermind, I think is the best way to put it, too. So those two together are a dangerous combination, but JJ hasn't been here since the early 2010s. The last time he was in the Hulman Classic was back in 2004, so it's been a minute, especially in this race, particularly for JJ, but you look at how good he was last year, and it really didn't matter where he went, whether it was CRA, I think of the win he got at Calistoga, or even his few national appearances last year. He was so quick, and I think he's still going to be a threat tonight, just like he was back in the 2000s.
Definitely so. Of course, you talked about Calistoga, won the Jesse Hockett Memorial as well, so he's proven he still has what it takes in that car, and let's hear what the two-time Hulman Classic winner had to say.
A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one at that. Two-time Hulman Classic champion and USAC Triple Crown champion J.J. Yeley joins the field here for the Hulman Classic. It's his first appearance in this race since 2004, and J.J. was just talking with the crew about 2010, 11, 12, somewhere in there was your last race here at the Action Track. So I got to ask, what made you come and pick this race? Because this is the one race you're running all week with us during the week of Indy.
Obviously, it's a special one. I mean, winning this race twice, I think like Robert Blue has probably won it the most. I would love to have a third rifle. You know, and it was just kind of one of those situations where the timing worked out. I'll be running a O'Reilly car this weekend in Charlotte, so I was like, if we can put some things together, Michael Vogelball from MPV Express come on board. Obviously, we have Eclipse claims as well. So, you know, I mean, anytime I can strap into a sprint car, go have some fun, and, you know, I like to take a little hardware home with me as well.
And you've been good in your sprint car starts lately, too, but it's been a minute since you've been with the USAC National Championship, and we talk about how long you've been away from the Action Track. I'm not sure if you got a look at the racetrack yet, but is there anything noticeably different from your last time here back in the early 2010s?
Yeah, there's a Chick-fil-A in the front yard now. That was pretty cool.
That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's a welcome sign. Like, obviously, the outside wall is you know, appearance-wise, the racetrack looks phenomenal. I haven't gone to look at the surface. I know that they sealed it off just obviously from the threat of weather, what we had going on here. But, you know, for me, this is the closest that I'm going to be able to come back to. I mean, this car is very similar to the car that, you know, I would have had all the success in 2003 and 2004. So, you know, as far as adjustments on the car, I know exactly kind of what I want to do. We had a lot of speed last year in this car, winning the race there in Lucas Oil for the Jesse Hockett Classic. So hopefully all those things will pan together. But, I mean, this is the toughest bunch of guys in the USAC Sprint Car Series. You know, they know what they're doing. They run a lot of races. So, you know, it's going to be an uphill battle, but one I'm ready for.
And you talk about the package that you're running. It's certainly unique, but like you said, you're one of the few guys that has made the coilovers, especially on the front end, work so well. How have you been able to kind of keep your driving style almost a bit of a time capsule of an era gone by with the coilovers?
Well, I think I'm kind of a time capsule as well, the easiest way to put it. But, you know, I mean, I had so much success with the coils and the roll bar for a lot of years. Then after, you know, I left and went south, you know, it took 3 or 4 years, and a lot of guys still ran the coils, and just like anything else, it transitioned out. So, you know, maybe we can start something new and get someone excited about it. You know, I've been working with Briggs quite a bit, talking to him. He's been trying some things. He's got some coils back on his car this week. So, you know, maybe we can bring back a trend and get rid of all the bar cars and bring coil cars back to life.
Yeah, the coil cars certainly are cool. Of course, he's got the coil front end here. FloRacing on the Spanish for J.J. Yeley. These two could be a dangerous combination here tonight at the Hulman Classic.
It's going to be interesting to see how JJ does tonight. Glad to see him here, and of course, like you said, with Flea, mechanical mastermind, and a lot of other ways you can describe what he does, because he is such an incredible fabricator and setup man. So great to see what that number 51 is going to do here tonight. Another driver you had a chance to talk to, Briggs Danner, who has had really a good start to the season, but he's been able to kind of go back and kind of play in his stomping grounds a little bit, because he has really proven he is great on the bigger tracks, especially coming from Pennsylvania, Williams Grove, Bridgeport, everything that he has to play on back there. But this is one track that's kind of eluded him, but he's picking up speed.
Yeah, and on paper, you just talked about a lot of the great tracks that Briggs has enjoyed success at, whether in USAC East Coast competition or with the National Series itself. But Terre Haute, for whatever reason, I think we all kind of assumed when he first came onto the national scene, Terre Haute was going to be a place he excelled at, and it just hasn't really come together yet. But you look at how they ran earlier here in the season, started a bit on the back foot with his run and learn lab qualifying, but by the end of the night was sitting just outside the top 5. They've been trying some stuff on that race car. They think they found some good speed coming here into the Hulman.
This is a track where it's daunting, and it's a very technical track. It's that flat fairgrounds half mile, and I can't say you can't carry a lot of speed. This track carries a ton of speed. It's just not like the way you would where we were at Eldora just last week.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Brian, too. Eldora and even some of those places back home for Briggs, they're a little bit different. This place is its own unique beast, and I think a lot of the drivers would agree with that assessment, too. And you'll hear in this interview that Briggs has struggled here in qualifying. That's kind of been one thing they've been chasing after here. Got it again a little bit better in April, but still wasn't really the speed they were looking for. So Briggs and that team, I know for a fact, have put a lot of emphasis on Learn Lab qualifying here, and along with different shock package on the front end.
Well, let's see what he had to say and how his night's going to play out.
Briggs Danner has had a lot of success on the big tracks when it comes to AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Championship competitions. You think of all the places he's had success on the big fast tracks of the East Coast and Pennsylvania, but one place he has not won at yet with this series that's a half mile or larger is right here at the Terre Haute Action Track. And Briggs, it seems like momentum's going in your favor here at the Action Track. You were 6th here during the Hurdy Classic. Rod and Supply hard charger that night too, got to mention that. So do you feel like you and this Hogue Racing Enterprises team have a really good baseline here at the Action Track and can challenge for a win here, especially in one of the biggest races of the season?
Yeah, I think we're getting there. I don't know why. I just tend to struggle here. I think qualifying has a lot of it, and I feel like every time we come here the track's a lot different. So one night it's real heavy, hammer down, big holes. The next night it's slick and nothing to get a hold of. So just kind of behind the 8 ball, I feel like, every time I get here. But I don't know, it seems to be going in our way, so hopefully we get better and better. That's all you can ask for.
I know you said you're kind of still trying to figure out what to do here at the Action Track, but qualifying specifically, like you said, I feel like that's been a talking point the last few years here at the Action Track. What is it about qualifying that is so daunting and it's so hard to get a good lap here to set yourself up well for the rest of the night?
Yeah, it's a tough place to qualify for sure. It's a very wide racetrack that if you don't hit your marks, you cost yourself a lot of time, and I feel like that's where guys that have been coming here for years and years and years are really good. They just know where to be and kind of know what to expect. That's the biggest part about it, is just knowing where to put yourself. And you get 2 laps of time trials, but if you spend the first one looking around searching, you're already behind the 8 ball. So, qualify is a big deal here. Luckily, racing-wise, 9 times out of 10, this is a track where you can make passes happen, but it's always tough to pass those guys in front of you when you're starting behind them. So.
One thing I want to talk about, too, it's a trend that we kind of see come in and out of sprint car racing, but you guys on the 39 team have been running the coil-over front shocks. I know you had them at Eldora and have tried them out a few different places. So what's that like, and why the change on the 39 program to start introducing these coils into your race program?
Yeah, it's just a different feeling. We're still kind of playing around with what we like and when we like it. I don't think it's the answer all the time, but at Eldora last week, it definitely helped us out, and it's just a different feeling. It's kind of interesting just to see, for the last however many years, there have been no coilovers on a sprint car forever, and like Tanner Thorson doing his deal with the high limit with a 4-coil car is just very interesting to me, and I think it has potential. And Timmy and I are willing to play with it and try it out a little bit. So we've been testing with some stuff with the 360 and trying to get our feet wet more with the 410. It's a lot different race car with aluminum motor up front. So just trying to get a feeling of a good baseline and trying to figure out when it's good, when it's bad, and see where it takes us.
There's some experimentation going out here, but don't count out the 39 car, even if they're trying those new coil-over shocks, as Briggs looks for his first win, not only here at Terre, but in the Hulman Classic here tonight.
Indeed, and again,
Before the greats of the Indianapolis 500 made it to the historic Speedway Indiana Oval, they passed through Terre Haute. And tonight, we are back at the historic half mile, not only to kick off the week of Indy, but also to honor the founder of the United States Auto Club, Mr. Tony Hulman, and the man who brought prominence back to Speedway.
29 drivers have checked in for tonight's racing action here in the Hulman Classic. Of course, you can see the entire rundown of drivers when you head down to the USAC merchandise trailer. Entry lists available while supplies last. While you're down there, make sure and get stocked up on all the 2026 race day must-have gear. And, of course, the Hoosier 100, unfortunately, Mother Nature has intervened, and that has been delayed. Instead of Friday now, it'll be contested in June. In fact, June 25th to be exact. But the Hoosier 100 T-shirts are available while supplies last. Again, that is down at the USAC merchandise trailer. AMSOIL is the title sponsor of the USAC Sprint Car National Championship. The AMSOIL Shop by Vehicle tool at AMSOIL.com takes the guesswork of picking the best oil and filter combination for your vehicle. Choose the right product and packaging option and enjoy fast, free delivery right to your door. Visit AMSOIL.com to learn more. Dirt Draft Hot Lap's going to be coming up here in just a little bit. Don't forget Dirt Draft now with League Play, where you can have 3 different leagues. The Pro League, which locks in right at the start of qualifying. The Veteran League, which locks in at Heat Race number 1. And the Rookie League, which locks in at the A feature. Now with predictive contests as well, with questions like, will this driver qualify in the top 3? Will so-and-so finish in the top 5? And don't forget, every new subscriber and reactivating subscriber receives a 25% off gift card to the Hoosier Tire online merchandise store. That is the Dirt Draft app. As always, we do have Driver v. Driver coming up. Drake York has that rundown.
Certainly do, Brian. Of course, our good friends at Dirt Draft, such great supporters of the United States Auto Club. And let's get into our Dirt Draft Driver v. Driver lineup here this evening. And it was Logan Calderwood taking the win over his opposition. That it was Trey Osborne of night number 2 of Let's Race 2 at the Eldora Speedway. Tonight, he faces off against Chase Stockin. So Calderwood on the left-hand side of your screen. He's at USAC Driver 1. We'll start with him first. He's chosen Justin Grant, Kevin Thomas Jr., Charles Davis Jr. himself, and Troy Carey. And once again, you can find him at USAC Driver 1 in the post-race public lobby. And it was the pro post-race public lobby we'll add as well. As I said, Chase Stockin, his opposition, he's at USAC Driver 2 in that public pro lobby. He's chosen Mitchell Moles, Briggs Danner, Charles Davis Jr., Brandon Maddox, and Troy Carey. So reminder, those drivers locked into the pro lobby, so if you want to play against Calderwood and Stockin here this evening at the Terre Action Track, make sure you sign up for that pro public lobby with our friends at Dirt Draft, which, Brian, I know you and I have talked about a few times this season. Dirt Draft doing a lot of cool new things here throughout the season, different lobbies to play in, predictive contests, all sorts of great stuff. So if you haven't yet checked out Dirt Draft, first off, what are you doing? And second, make sure you go over to Dirt Draft and sign up to play.
Indeed, thank you very much. High-performance racing demands high-performance energy. NOS Energy, fueling USAC's fastest drivers and fans all season long. Grab yours at the NOS Energy sampling booth and get after it. Cookout presents always fresh, never frozen burgers, barbecue, hot dog, all cooked fresh every day. And get this, over 40 different flavors of shakes, all prepared fresh and made by hand every day. It's all yours. Find a Cookout location near you. Go to cookout.com. Sunoco is the world's largest manufacturer of racing fuels and has been the standard in motorsports for over 50 years. Known for innovation, consistency, and high performance, Sunoco Fuels has been the choice of racers from grassroots tracks to premier international series. Go to SunocoRaceFuels.com to learn more. Checking on points coming into tonight's racing action. Fresh off of a double round of action at Eldora during Let's Race 2, where Kyle Cummins continues to lead the way. 918 markers earned so far this season. Justin Grant currently sitting second in points. Mitchell Moles in third. Logan Seavey in fourth. Jake Swanson in fifth. Briggs Danner in sixth. Chase Stockin in seventh. Kevin Thomas Jr., CJ Leary, and Robert Ballou currently make up the top 10. Of course, you can see the entire rundown of USAC National Sprint Car Midget and Silver Crown point standings, as well as the entire lineup of events for all 3 National Touring Series when you go online to USACRacing.com. While you're there, a reminder, you can also click over to UnitedStatesAutoClub.com and find out everything that runs under the USAC banner. It's more than just circle track racing. It's road racing, off-road, and power sports. All compete under the USAC banner. Again, that is UnitedStatesAutoClub.com. Hoosier Tire's mission is to be the dominant customer-driven provider of racing tires to teams domestically and internationally. For more information on the tires designed for champions, go online to HoosierTire.com. The K&N Clean Air Award is presented to the driver that leads the most laps during each USAC National A feature throughout the 2026 season. The award is designed to recognize sustained performance at the front of the field where engine efficiency, reliability, and meticulous performance are at a premium. Shop for your vehicle and your home now at knfilters.com. Looking ahead to the 2026 lineup, tomorrow we head up the road to Circle City Raceway. A salute to the Circle City tomorrow. Knoxville Raceway, Knoxville, Iowa, May 29th and 30th. The Avante Windows and Doors Corn Belt Clash at the Sprint Car Capital of the World. That is also Hall of Fame induction weekend, so make sure and make plans to attend. Tickets on sale at KnoxvilleRaceway.com. Red Hill Raceway for 2 nights, June 5th and 6th. Worldwide Technology Raceway with the Silver Crown Division back on track. That'll be on June 7th. That is a part of the NTT IndyCar weekend, the Bommarito 500, and that is all on the same ticket, so that's definitely one you want to check on. That is on June 7th. Then Indiana Midget Week kicks off at Circle City Raceway on June 9th. Paragon the following night, Lincoln Park, Bloomington, and so on. Of course, you can see the entire rundown, and you can see it all if you can't be there live in person on FloRacing. Whether it's the original store in Warsaw or right in the heart of racing at their new location in Brownsburg, Indiana, Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts has what you're looking for. Shop their full inventory of Intech, Featherlight, ATC, Hallmark, Lumitech, and Easy Go golf carts. Shop in person or online 24/7 at Elliott'sCustomTrailers.com. That's Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts, where you're always the winner. Cars are going to make the round to the speedway. Engine heat and wheel pack going to take place. Mother Nature helping out a little bit over the course of the last 24 hours. Thankfully, the forecast model changing up and blowing out a lot earlier than expected, but still a little bit of rain falling yesterday. Saving a little bit of cost on the diesel of the water truck, getting everything out onto the racing surface. We'll have the drivers come out, they'll get a little bit of heat, and then we'll go into our dirt draft hot laps. TJ Forge was founded to be the best no-compromise Forge wheels for the motorsports industry. Product quality, safety, and customer service are the driving factors for TJ Forge, and they are committed to being your first and only call for racing wheels. Go to tjforge.com to get started today. Whether you're running a go-kart, a micro, midget, modified sprint car, late model, Silver Crown, or a tractor, Rod & Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you lead the field of performing to your maximum potential. Remember, they don't just sell them, they race them. Go to rodandsupply.com for more. Parallax Group offers world-class power supply products to the RV industry. Parallax Group delivers high-quality assembly and manufacturing solutions in North America that exceed client expectation, focusing on quality and efficiency to ensure their products lead the industry. Go to parallaxgroupinc.com for more. Parallax Group also presenting the National Passing Master. Logan Calderwood currently leads that, advancing position 39 times so far this season. Calderwood currently on screen in the number 6 machine. Kel Kuhn sitting at 38, Hayden Reinbold at 36, Briggs Danner at 34, Justin Grant, Kevin Thomas Jr., Robert Blue, Chase Stockin, Brady Bacon, and Trey Osborne currently make it the top 10 in your Parallax Group National Passing Master points. Of course, Parallax Group also does individual race weekend and race series passing points. Look forward to seeing another chance for drivers to make a little bit of extra money here in the coming weeks. MPI takes every aspect of construction and safety to heart in the most accurate and dedicated way possible. Max Pappas Innovation believes safety in construction and R&D is paramount in all of their products, including steering wheels, gloves, and seats. For more info, go to maxpappasinc.com. Indy Metal Finishing mission is to support their customers with an exceptional level of quality and service. Indy Metal Finishing offers Type 2 and Type 3 anodizing chemical conversions, passivation, and electroless nickel services to motorsports, medical, military, aerospace, and manufacturing industries. Visit them today at indymetalfinishing.com. Indy Power Sports offers the vehicles and equipment you want, plus the service and parts you need to keep them running in top shape, including ATVs, electric bikes, motorcycles, and utility vehicles. Browse their full inventory and see everything they have in stock, both new and used, at indy-powersports.com. LG MG features a focus on safety and customer support for mobile elevating work platforms and telehandlers, and brings an ever-expanding high-quality product line and a vision for growth. The company has a complete line of scissor lifts, agricultural booms, telescopic booms, and rough terrain scissor lifts. Check out lgmgna.com and lift your spirits today. LG MG providing the scissor lift you see overlooking turns 1 and 2. All the different ways you can follow along tonight. Of course, you can follow along right in the palm of your hand with the My Race Pass app, free to download, where you can get lineups, results, rosters, and more. If you do get the premium membership, though, that does come complete with live timing and scoring. Again, that is on the My Race Pass app. You can also find us online at USACracing.com, on Facebook by searching for USAC Racing, and on X and Instagram at USAC Nation. A reminder, if it's on social media as well as on My Race Pass, it is unofficial. All official news, notes, points, and updates will be done at the close of the night's program at USACracing.com. Officials in the tower watching to see who has made their way out to help roll the track in and get a little bit of heat under the bonnets here. We'll start filing them down into the pit area till we whittle things down into Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 1. We'll have 4 flights of Dirt Draft Hot Laps before we go into Learn Lap qualifying. 2 cars at a time during qualifying, their fastest of their 2 laps counting towards their qualifying effort. Out of that, we'll set the heat race lineups. A trio of heat races will be on hand here this evening. Top 6 out of each of the heat races advancing on directly into your feature event. Everybody else going into your 5-star body semi-feature event. Again, if you're just joining us in the grandstands or online with the FloRacing broadcast, 29 drivers checking in with the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship. Getting a look at Hayden Reinbold here on the broadcast, the driver to Gilbert, Arizona. Setting a little bit of history for himself just a couple of weeks ago with the Silver Crown Series as we were up at Salt City Raceway in Hutchinson, Kansas in his inaugural Silver Crown start. Went to victory lane and, by the way, did it in fine style with a last lap pass to get it done. 10 starts on the season for Hayden Reinbold, 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s in national sprint car competition. See how he can fare here this evening. Miss Shirley checking in back in Sperry here on the broadcast. Of course, you can always let us know where you're watching from. Simply go to X and let us know where you're checking things out from here tonight. Of course, you can find at USAC Nation and at FloRacing to let us know where you're checking out all the racing action this evening. So slowly whittling down to the drivers you'll find in at Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 1. So a few more cars expected to make their way back down into the pit area. One driver coming to a stop here. Current national points leader, the 3P of Kyle Cummins. Officials over checking on him. Coming to a stop just inside of the speedway there, heading into the entrance of turn number 3. Cummins 4 wins on the season, 3 of those in USAC National Sprint Car Competition. Of course, winning the Hurtabies back in April. Sprint car portion of the Kokomo Grand Prix on April 26th, Bloomington on May 1st, and most recently going to victory lane at Eldora during Let's Race 2. Cummins, one of the drivers set to be in Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 1. He's behind the wheel, Devontae Windows and Doors, Jugo Superfoods, Premier Recycling, Stanton Mach 1 chassis number 3P. Driver rolling in behind him, also set to be in this opening flight of dirt draft hot laps in turn number 1. The driver to Coleman, Alabama, driver of the Majestic Electric Bird Racing, Stanton Mach with chassis number 3R. That is Kevin Thomas Jr. Kevin Thomas Jr. in the 3. Maddox on track. He will be later on in Dirt Draft Hot Laps. In fact, he'll be in session number 4. Likewise for the 24M of Hunter Maddox. Next driver set to be in this set of Dirt Draft Hot Laps makes his way to the bottom side of turn number 1 right now at Columbus, Ohio. The Industrial Hydraulics Incorporated Jet Fuel Trailer Sales Mopar Triple X Beachwold Automotive number 6T of Trey Osborne. Osborne also set to be in this opening flight of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. The 41 of Ricky Lewis down the back straightaway, also set to be in this opening flight of Hot Laps out of Oxnard, California. Driver of the Superior Tank and Trailer, Stenson DRC, Physical Medicine Consultants, Massive Island Transportation, number 41. Lewis coming in on a bit of a hot streak in USAC regional competition. Half a dozen wins so far this year with the Avante Witters USAC CRA series, including this past weekend down in Central Arizona. Next driver to tell you about that's going to be in this opening flight of Dirt Draft Hot Laps is Chase Stockton here on the front straightaway, coming up to the flag stand. Driver the England Machine until moments by Morgan, Lucas Oil Center, Kistler, DRC, Brown Brothers Excavating, number 92. of Hayden Reinbold, talking about him a little bit earlier in the AME Electrical, Reinbold Development Incorporated, Stanton Spike number 19, making his way through turns 1 and 2. So Stockton, Lewis, Osborne, Adams in the number 42, also set to be in this flight of Hot Laps. Looking around the racetrack, I do not see the number 42 out there for this set. We'll see if he makes it out a little bit later on. If we get him wound up, green flag will fly in Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 1. Already very quick. 19.901 Kyle Cummins down to a 19.617 for Chase Stockton. The official one-lap track record established by Brady Bacon in 2014 was a 19.225. And they are getting closer and closer. 19.495 for Kevin Thomas Jr. Smoke heavy out of one driver over in turns 3 and 4, and that is Ricky Lewis. Smoke coming off of the header, not out of the header. You see where the oil is actually spraying down on the very front of the left bank. So 19.495 right now, the quickest lap during Dirt Draft Hot Laps. Kyle Cummins a 19.566, 19.617 for Chase Stockton, a 21.45 for Trey Osborne. Reinbold, 5th quick at a 22.19, and Ricky Lewis, 20.262 seconds. Next group of cars begin to make their way out to the speedway for Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 2. The 19AZ rolling into turns 1 and 2. Mitchell Moles, driver Coming to us at Raisin City, California, driver the AME Electro, Masiva Transportation, Reinbold Development Incorporated, Indy Race Parts, number 19AZ. Driver rolling in behind him, the 45N. That is Troy Carey at a Tullamore, New South Wales, Australia. Driver the Skyline Building, Supos, Hog Heaven, Claxton, Ripper Chassis, number 45. 77 on the back straightaway, David Gasper at a Santa Barbara, California. Driver the Simply Birdhouse, TSR, Clay CSI, Freeland Powered at DRC Chassis, number 77S. And looking over onto the back straightaway, exiting turn number 2, Jaden Rogers at Worthington, Indiana. The Beasley's Railcar Repair Spec, DRC America Dream Racing, Parallax Motorsports, number 14. Looking over to the exit, turn number 2, Cale Coons out of Greencastle, Indiana. The Curb Wreckers, Mechanical Advantage, Coletta Charters, Neil Tires, Stanton DRC Chassis, number 63. And the driver rolling behind him is Adam Taylor at Wheatfield, Indiana. Driver the Horizon Carpentry Incorporated, Kircher Power, Triple X, Mongo Crane, Spinkins Motorsports, number 80. Logan Calderwood here on the front straightaway at a Goodyear, Arizona. The MP Environmental, GFT Ready Mix, one-way Triple X Chassis, GFT Shock Technologies, Inland Rigging at number 6. So right now, letting drivers come out, just kind of roll up the high side of the speedway a little bit here, as well as get a little bit of heat before we set them loose for Dirt Draft Hot Lap session at number 2. Again, Adam Taylor set to be in this set. Mitchell Moles, Troy Carey, Logan Calderwood, Jaden Rogers, David Gasper, and Cale Coons. Max Adams was set to be in the opening flight of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. Hearing they might be going down to snag him and get him out to the speedway in the Barn System Incorporated, done on DRC number 42. So again, the official one-lap track record established May 21st, 2014. Brady Bacon in the Hoffman number 69, establishing the track record at a 19.225. Went on to finish 3rd in the feature event that evening. So one final car coming out to the front straightaway, and indeed, it will be Adams in that Barnes system. Dwight Cheney owned, Donna DRC Chassis number 42. So just about ready to wind things up here in Dirt Draft Hot Lap session at number 2. Last time Adams was in a feature competition during the Hulman here at Terre Haute was 2024. So we'll wind him up and set him loose. Second of 4 flights of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. Checkered flag flying on dirt drift hot lap session number 2. Quickest on track, Mitchell Moles, 19.995. And the number 19 AZ, Kevin Thomas Jr. remains quickest, 19.495. And the Rocksteady Racing number 3R. So it's KTJ, then Cummins, Stockin, Gasper, then Moles, your top 5 quickest so far. Trey Osborne, Hayden Reinbold, Logan Calderwood, Ricky Lewis, and Cale Coons currently make up the top 10. Dirt Drive Hot Lap Session number 3 will begin to make its way out to the racing surface. First driver out to the clays out of Greenfield, Indiana. Driver of the Jarvis Enterprises, Foxco DRC, Bouchador Motorsports, Primetime Financial, Indy Middle finishing number 53. This is CJ Leary. CJ Leary in the number 53. Driver in 11, Jack Hoyer out of Frankfort, Indiana. Driver of the Intech Management Group, Hoyer Chevrolet DRC Chassis. Struck finishes, Ruoff Mortgage, number 11. The driver in 12, he's won more Hulman Classics than anybody in Rockland, California. Driver of the Suburban Subaru, Dean's Waterfront Services, Donut DRC, Berks Western Telecom, number 12, the Madman, Robert Ballou. Making his return to the Terre Haute Action Track, he is your USAC Triple Crown titleist. Winner of this event twice in his career. The Eclipse Claim Consulting, MPV Express, Yeley Transportation, Avante Windows and Doors, Fisher Ripper, number 51. It's JJ Yeley. Rolling down to the bottom side of turn number 2 in the NOS Energy Drink, KBV Logistics, Stanton Maxim Chassis, Amsoil, G&G Racing Fields number 4. That is Justin Grant. Justin Grant, the defending winner of the Hulman Classic. And Briggs Danner making his way down to turns 1 and 2 now. The E. Schneider & Sons Recycling, Ryder Power, DRC, Keystone Cap, Boulevard Truck Repair, Apache Transport, number 39. So again, all the drivers set to be in this hot lap session. J.J. Yeley, Briggs Danner, Jack Hoyer, Robert Ballou, Justin Grant, C.J. Leary, and the 83. Also said to be out here at a Brazil, Indiana, driven the Schottmeyer Ag. Rubottom Chevrolet Maxa number 83, Carl Rubottom, set to be on track as well. So getting word Rubottom will go into flight number 4 here as we allow drivers again to roll up the racetrack a little bit and get ready to set them loose for Dirt Draft Hot Lap session at number 3. J.J. Yeley just about swapped that thing out for a Schwinn. Got her up on the right side just a little bit. Set her back down and kept her rolling. Checker flag about to fly here in Dirt Drive Hot Lap session at number 3. One more flight to follow this. So checker flag coming out in your third flight of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. Quickest driver on track is the 39 of Briggs Danner. He's 4th quick overall right now with a 19.699. Danner making his way through turns 1 and 2. During the course of that hot lap session, J.J. Yeley just about got her all the way up on the right side tires. A good save. We'll get a look at that here on the FloRacing broadcast. Takes it in. Ooh, so close to catastrophe there. But the Triple Crown champ able to set her back down as we slow the frame rate down. Get a look here where it gets her on the bounce a little bit up on the right side. Luckily, doesn't dig that right front end. Keeps the MPV Express number 51 rolling on. Thesteeda.com on board, riding along with Logan Seavey here this evening. Seavey making his way out to the Speedway out of Southern California, driven the Mount Mechanical Contractors, Drop Light, Indy Power Sports, Stanton DRC, Abacus Racing, Forecheck Marketing, number 57. Again, final flight of Dirt Draft Hot Laps begin to make its way out onto the Speedway. Those of you just making your way into the grandstands or joining us here on the FloRacing broadcast. Austin Nye out of Greenfield, Indiana, driver the Billy's Tequila. The Brigade Shooting Company, DRC Chevrolet Power number 97. He'll make his way into turns 1 and 2. The 7S. Jake Simmons out of New Palestine, Indiana, driver the DRC J&D Performance number 7S. The 16 here on the front straightaway, Harley Burns out of Brazil, Indiana, driving the Brit Aero Timberland Lumber Company 16 Chevrolet DRC chassis number 16. Number 28 into turns 1 and 2 at a Terre, Haute, Indiana, driver the Whitman Roofing, TCB Speed North Gressman DRC Shelter Insurance Company number 28. That is Brandon Maddox. 83, Carl Rubottom does make it out for this hot lap session, driving the Shop Myers Agriculture, Maxim Rubottom Chevrolet number 83. And the 47, Charles Davis Jr. back in the Midwest out of Buckeye, Arizona, the MP Environmental, Black Magic Bead Breaker, Spider Crane, Indy Race Parts, the Race Shack number 47, and I do believe Drake with an update on Charge and Charles.
Brian, you just mentioned it. Charles Davis Jr. in his first Midwest start of the 2026 season, and catching up with them earlier today. Still, like a kid in a candy store every time he comes to the Midwest. He absolutely loves racing here. Don't get me wrong, he loves racing back home in the state of Arizona, but Charles absolutely loves coming out here, and we'll see him for the next month or so here with the Amsoil USAC National Sprint Car Championship and throughout the state of Indiana. He's going to finish out the week of Indy. Expect to see him at most of the nights of Indiana midweek running the sprint car, and they're going to take this car out to Pennsylvania and New Jersey for this year's Eastern Storm, and then kind of reassess from there if they want to run Indiana Sprint Week or if they can run Indiana Sprint Week. And Charlie's been at this game for a long time. Just to give you some reference point of how long Charles Davis Jr. has been at it, he was the 1993 CRA Rookie of the Year. Not USAC CRA, mind you, the original CRA series. He was the Rookie of the Year back in 1993. And like I said, Charles Davis Jr., you think every time he hops in, it's his first time because he usually has a smile ear to ear. And he's pretty fast here at the action track. He has 5 starts in this event. He's won a few heat races here over the years too. So Charles Davis Jr., I know a few people already picked him for their Dirt Draft tonight, but he could be a good pick on Dirt Draft and a sleeper here at the action track.
Indeed, thank you very much. The 5T also out of the racing surface. Jake Swanson out of Anaheim, California. The Inland Rigging, Darty Motorsports, one way. Daming Swanson, number 5T. And the 24M, the driver out of Bedford, Indiana. The TJD Roofing and Exteriors. Cummings Power, DRC Megacorp Logistics, number 24. And that is Hunter Maddox. So we'll start to wind them up here. Green light set to flip on around the Terre Haute action track. Your final flight of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. Checker flag flying on your final flight of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. Kevin Thomas Jr. holds on to the quickest lap time at a 19.495. Kyle Cummins a 19.566. Chase Stock at 19.617. Briggs Danner 19.699. And Justin Grant fifth quick at a 19.739. But a 19.495 quickest in Dirt Draft Hot Laps. LearnLab qualifying coming up next. LearnLab is a maker of award-winning hands-on industrial job skills training systems using curriculum, classroom tools, and rugged hands-on training panels. LearnLab teaches the necessary skills with real tools and components to help schools, colleges, and companies train people to simply be better at what they do. Check out LearnLab.com for more information. Again, 2 cars at a time will enter out to the speedway. Green the first time by the start-finish line. 2 laps on the clock, their quickest of the 2, counting towards their qualifying effort. Extra $150 to the driver, who is your Learn Lab Quick qualifier. Making sure all safety officials and everybody are in their proper position as we ready the first 2 cars to make their way out to the racing surface. Again, don't forget racing action tomorrow continuing up in Indianapolis, Circle City Raceway, hosting the USAC Emsl Sprinkler National Championship. And again, if you missed it, Friday at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park with the Hoosier 100 has been postponed. That event now will take place on June 25th. Of course, the Hoosier 100 t-shirts are available, though. You can get those down at the USAC merchandise trailer. So the first 2 drivers are going to make the round to the speedway. First one out to the clays at Fort Branch, Indiana. Driver the England Machine and Tool. Moments by Morgan, Lucas Oil Center, Brown Brothers Excavating, Superior Tank and Trailer, Phil and Eileen King. Moose Racing number 92, that is Chase Stockton. Chase Stockton number 92. He's joined on track by Ricky Lewis out of Oxnard, California. Lewis in the Superior Tank and Trailer, Physical Medicine Consultant, Sons on DRC, Mississippi Valley Transportation number 41. Lap number 1, 19.578 for Chase Stockton. Ricky Lewis, a 20.117 to 19.578 to kick things off here for Chase Stockton. Winner during Sprint Week last year, ran 7th in the Hulman Classic 1 year ago, as well as 2024. A 16-time starter in this event. Comes around slower, second time by a 20.266. Ricky Lewis, we'll see if he picks up some time. He does not. 20.138 his second time around. Both drivers settling on their opening lap. But the mark to beat here in Learn Lab qualifying at 19.578 for Chase Stockton. Engine woes at Eldora. He's got all 8 cylinders running here tonight out of Columbus, Ohio. The Industrial Hydraulics Incorporated Mopar Triple X Jeff Hill Trailer Cells at Hoof Hollow Farms Beach World Automotive number 6T. It's tough. Born, joined on track by Max Adams out of Loomis, California. The Barn System Incorporated, ooh, look out tall, gets it back underneath him here in the Murray. As we continue on, the Murray's Bottle Shop, Pendleton Farms, SteelCoUSA.com, number 42 of Max Adams, the second car on track. 21.002 for Trey Osborne on his opening lap. Adams coming around. Lap number 1 for him will be a 20.510. He'll take over the 3rd spot here. Track with a little bit of character. Mother Nature again helping with some of the watering over last night. Comes around, improves a 20.391 on lap number 2 for the driver of the number 6T. The 42 pedaling on the exit of turn number 4. Gets her up over into the fluff a little bit, and his second lap going to be slower, 20.861 for Max Adams. So only one driver out of the 4 that have come out has improved on his second time around. That's Trey Osborne, currently sitting at 3rd. But Chase Stockton, the driver they're all chasing, with a 19.578. Out to the speedway now out of Coleman, Alabama, the Majestic Electric Inland Rigging Bird Racing, Stanton Muckler Chastain number 3R. That is Kevin Thomas Jr., and he will be joined by Hayden Reinbold of Gilbert, Arizona, the AMA Electrical, Reinbold Development Incorporated, Mississippi Valley Transportation, Jugo Superfoods, Stanton Spike, number 19. KTJ coming around on his opening lap. He will go 3rd quick at a 20.220, 20220 seconds. Hayden Reinbold, opening lap for him. Going to be 6th quick at a 27.33. Kevin Thomas Jr., winner of the 2017 Hulman Classic, a 12-time starter in this event. He ran 6th 1 year ago. Going to make his way onto the front straightaway. We'll see if he improves second time around. He does. 2nd quick, 20.002, 20002 seconds. Second time by for Hayden Reinbold. 4th quick, he picks up some time, a 20.330 for the driver of the number 19, who went 8th from 15th in last year's running of the Hulman Classic. Next out to the Speedway, Victory Lane, the destination during the Hurtabees back in April. We'll see if he can back it up here during the Hulman. Driving the Avante windows and doors, Dugo Superfoods, Stanton Mach-1 Chassis, Premier Recycling, Petty Performance, Lucas Oil Center, number 3P. That is Kyle Cummins. Kyle Cummins in the number 3P. Joined on track by Adam Taylor in Wheatfield, Indiana, the Horizon Carpentry Incorporated, Mongo Crane, Spankins Motorsports, Kircher Power, Triple X Chassis, number 8C. First time around for Kyle Cummins, fifth quick with a 23.83. Adam Taylor a 21.435 on his opening lap. Cummins in the 3 in the Hulman Classic, has 8 starts in this event. He ran 4th last year, his best run twice, a second place finish in 2021 and 2023. Comes around quick time at a 19.567, 19.567 seconds for Kyle Cummins. He goes to the top of the charts here in Learn Lap qualifying. Adam Taylor better on lap number 2, 8th quick with a 21.019. Smoke coming off of the number 8T as he makes the turn back into the pit area. We'll keep him rolling here with a 19 AZ. Mitchell Moles out to the racetrack at Raisin City, California. The AMA Electrical, Messiah Valley Transportation, Rhineville Development Incorporated, Rhineville Underwood Motorsports, number 19. He'll be joined with a 45 in, a Troy Carey at Tullamore, New South Wales, Australia. The Skyline Building, Supas, Hog Heaven, Claxton, Ripper, number 45 in. The 19 AZ rolling around to the front straightaway on lap number 1. He will stop the clock, 5th quick at a 20.125. 4 starts here in the Hulman Classic. He ran 19th last year. His best run, a 4th in 2024. He was 2nd here back in April during the Hurtabees. Troy Carey coming around 10th quick in his opening lap, a 21.503. Moles on the hammer onto the front straightaway. Does he improve on lap number 2? He does. 3rd quick, 19.941. 19.941 seconds for Mitchell Moles. Jumps him up into the 3rd spot. And Troy Carey coming around, improves lap number 2, 9th quick at a 20.914. So Kyle Cummins remains at the top with a 19.567. Chase Stockton with a 19.578. Moles, KTJ, and Ricky Lewis right now make up your top 5. Jaden Rogers next out to the Speedway in Worthington, Indiana. Driver the Beasley's Railcar Repair Spec, DRC, Midwest Dyno Services, Composite Specialties, K1 Race Gear, Alchemy Engineering, number 14. Joined by Logan Calderwood out of Goodyear, Arizona, the MP Environmental GFT Ready Mix One-Way Triple X Chassis, number 6. 2 starts at Terre Haute during Indiana Sprint Week for the driver of the number 6 machine, looking to make his first A-feature appearance during the Hulman Classic as Jaden Rogers comes around 9th quick in his opening lap with a 26.06. Logan Calderwood 12th quick with a 21.177. Jaden Rogers, 4 starts in this event. His last A-feature appearance in 2024, where he finished 17th. His best appearance so far in the Tony Hulman Classic. His overall best during the Hurtabees, as well as the Don Smith Classic, where he finished 11th at both of those events in 2021 and 2022. Comes around second time by. 10th quick for Rogers, a 20.536. Calderwood goes 7th quick at a 20.386. Next couple of cars out to the Speedway, and it will be led by Cale Coons out of Greencastle, Indiana. The Curb Records, Stanton DRC, Coletta Charters, Mechanical Advantage, Neil Tire, Impact Racing Optics, number 63. Second driver on track going to be David Gasper out of Santa Barbara, California. The Simply Birdhouse, TSR Clay CSI, Sturgeon Racing, number 77. Cale Coons working on his opening lap. 1 start here at Terre Haute in April during the Hurtabees Classic, where he finished 8th. Comes around 11th quick in his opening lap with a 28.76 rather. Gasper coming around 11th quick, a 25.94 for the driver of the number 77S. 1 Terre Haute start during the Hurtabees back in April, where he finished 17th. 2 other starts on the season, a 18th and a 14th place finish for the driver of the number 77. Cale Coons, 12th quick, second time by, a 20.695. And David Gasper jumps to 5th quick, a 20.079 second, lap number 2 for the Santa Barbara, California driver. Little bit of character in the corners here at Terre Haute, courtesy of Mother Nature, as we continue rolling on. Talked to them a little bit in the pre-race show. They're working on some setups and trying some different shock packages on the front of this machine. Out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, the East Snyder & Sons Recycling, Keystone Cab Boulevard Truck Repair, Apache Transport, Hogue Racing Enterprise number 39. This is Briggs Danner. Briggs Danner going to be joined by the driver out of Phoenix, Arizona, the Eclipse Claim Consulting, MPV Express, Yeley Transportation, Avante Windows and Doors, Rick Korn, Owen Ripper Chassis number 51 of J.J. Yeley. Danner 7th quick in his opening lap with a 20.322. Yeley coming around. He'll go 11th quick with a 20.462. Winner of this event in 1997 and 2003. He's got 8 starts here in the Hulman Classic. His last appearance back in 2004, where he ran 3rd. The wheels fly to the front straightaway for Briggs Danner, and he'll go 5th quick, second time by, a 20.1 20.010 for the Allentown, Pennsylvania racer. Yeley coming around, goes to 7th quick with a 20.114. Next driver onto the speedway. He has won this event 3 times, 2015, 16, and 2022. Out of Rockland, California, the Suburban Subaru, Dean's Waterfront Services, Don Ott DRC, Berks Western Telecom, number 12, the Madman, Robert Ballou. He'll be joined by Jack Hoyer to Frankfort, Indiana, the Intact Management Group, JRS Custom Fabrication, Ruoff Mortgage at Struck Finishes, number 11. Hoyer in search of his first career USAC National Feature start here in Terre Haute competition. Ballou coming around 12th quick in his opening lap, a 24.48. For the driver of the number 12 machine, 18-time starter here in the Hulman Classic. Out last year, unfortunately, due to an injury. His last start in 2024. An 8th place run for the Madman. He'll come around 2nd attempt. See if he can improve on his lap time. And 12, he does. 3rd quick, 19.863. 19.863 seconds for Robert Ballou, 2nd time by. Jack Hoyer, 2nd attempt here. Does he improve? He does. 15th quick at a 26.09. So Robert Ballou, 3rd quick in his 2nd time around, 19.863. The driver there still chasing, Kyle Cummins, 19.567 for your current USAC National Points leader. Out of Ione, California, winner of the Hulman Classic in 2025. Driver of the NOS Energy Drink, MPB Logistics, Top Industries, G&G Racing Fields, AMSOIL number 4. This is Justin Grant. Justin Grant out onto the speedway. Grant going to be joined by C.J. Leary at Greenfield, Indiana, driver of the Jarvis Enterprises, Bachelor Motorsports, Foxco DRC, number 53. Grant 13th quick in his opening lap of the 24.06, 2:04.06 seconds. C.J. Leary first time by 8th quick with a 21.06. 12-time starter of the Hulman Classic. He ran 2nd last year, his best career finish in the Hulman Classic for C.J. Leary. Justin Grant, a 16-time starter in this event, comes around 2nd time, 3rd quick with a 19.682. 19.682 seconds for Justin Grant, 2nd time by. C.J. Leary, 2nd time around, slower, 20.394. He'll stand in his opening lap, a 21.06, currently good for the 9th position. 20 of the 29 so far that have checked in have come out to lay down a qualifying time. Next two contestants onto the speedway out of Sutter, California, driver of the Mountain Mechanical Contractors, Dropline, Indy Power Sports, Stanton DRC, Forecheck Marketing Abacus number 57. That is Logan Seavey. Logan Seavey going to be joined on track by Hunter Maddox out of Bedford, Indiana, driver of the TJD Roofing and Exteriors, Cummings DRC, Megacorp Logistics number 24M. Seavey coming around lap number 1. He's going to be 15th quick with a 24.84. Again, he is carrying our onboard camera here this evening. The 24M coming around 22nd quick, 21.039. Winner of the 2024 Hulman Classic. Also a win here back during Indiana Sprint Week in 2021. Seavey ran 11th here last year. Comes around in his opening lap better, 12th quick with a 21.62. 24M going to work around to the front straightaway. A 3-time starter here at Terre Haute, a 20th in last year's running the Hulman Classic. Hunter Maddox improved 16th, 20.494, his 2nd time by. So far, nobody getting up in touch of the time of Kyle Cummins, that 19.567. As the next two drivers onto the speedway, this one from right here in town, driver of the Whitman Roofing, TCB Speed North, Gressman DRC Chassis, Shelter Insurance Company, Acura Loop, Pure Max Racing on number 28. This is Brandon Maddox. Brandon Maddox at number 28, joined by Jake Simmons out of Palestine, New Palestine, Indiana. Make that the DRC J&D Performance, Simmons' own number 7S. Brandon Maddox, 23rd quick in his open lap with a 21.227. Simmons coming around a 21.833, 24th quick. Or the driver of the number 7, trying to fight his way into an 8 feature here at Terre Haute and USAC National Sprint Car Competition. Driver of the number 28 coming around, a 12-time starter of the Hulman Classic, ran 16th 1 year ago. His best run in 2020 when he finished 12th. Improves on lap number 2, 22nd quick, a 21.016. Lap number 2 for Jake Simmons, also better, a 21.747, currently sitting 24th. So just a few drivers left to qualify here. The 5T out to the speedway. That is Jake Swanson out of Anaheim, California. The inland breaking Darty Motorsports one-way DRC chassis number 5T. He'll be joined by Charles Davis Jr. to Buckeye, Arizona, driver of the MP Environmental, Central Arizona Raceway, Chuck D's Winners, FK Indy, the Race Shack Indy Race Parts, Spider Crane number 47. 5 starts in the Hulman Classic for Charles Davis Jr. The 5T in the meantime coming around to lay down his opening lap. 24th quick, a 21.066, a 6-time starter in the Hulman. Charles Davis Jr., 21st quick, a 29.03. Swanson, a 5th place run last year, his best run in this event in 2024 with a runner-up place finish. The 5T going to work around to the front straight. We'll see if he improves. Second time by. He does. 4th quick, improves by over a second. 19.849 for Jake Swanson. Charles Davis Jr. coming around. A little bit slower second time by, 21.598, but what a jump for Jake Swanson on his second lap to improve by over a second with a 19.849. And caution light's going to come on the 5T, missing the exit on the back straightaway, so we will slow things down here. So Kyle Cummins remains quickest, 19.567. Stockton currently sitting second. Justin Grant, Jake Swanson, Robert Blue. Right now, your top 5. Mitchell Moles, Kevin Thomas Jr., Briggs Danner, David Gasper, and C.J. Leary make up the top 10. Back to green with Harley Burns out of Brazil, Indiana, the Brit Arrow, Timberland Lumber Company, 16 Chevrolet, DRC, Youngblood Farms, theacecorp.com, DGH Electra number 16. At speed down the front straightaway, joined by Austin Nye out of Greenfield, Indiana, the Billy's Tequila, DRC, the Brigade Shooting Company, 97 Enterprises, number 97. Nye looking for his first USAC National Feature start here in Terre Haute, and the 16 coming around. Harley Burns, 1 star back in 2021 during the Hurtabees. He ran 20th. Goes 22nd quick at his opening lap with a 28.13, 27.53 for Austin Nye in his opening lap. He'll currently sit in the 22nd position. Second time by for Harley Burns. Slower, 21.003 for the driver, the number 16. Puts him 23rd on the grid. Austin Nye coming around. Slower his second time. He'll stand on his opening lap. Was a 27.53. Lap number 2 was a 21.015. Last driver on the grid to qualify is out of Brazil, Indiana, driving the Shopmeyer Agriculture, Maxim Rubottom Chevrolet, Lovitz Construction, Mac Diesel Service, number 83. This is Carl Rubottom. Carl Rubottom, the number 83. Been several years since his last attempt in USAC National competition. Normally, this driver in weekly action, whether it's up at Lincoln Park Speedway or at Paragon. Opening lap is 29th quick with a 23.005, 23.005 seconds, and it looks like the 1 lap is all he is going to take here in the number 83, as his original position in the lineup was to be right after J.J. Yeley. So again, he only gets that 1 lap at speed. So that will wrap up Learn Lab qualifying. 5th quick tonight was Robert Blue. 4th was Jake Swanson. 3rd was Justin Grant. 2nd was Chase Stockton. And your quick qualifier comes to you out of Princeton, Indiana. Driver the Avante Hood Doors, Jugo Superfoods at Petty Performance, Lucas Oil Center, Lifestyle Homes, number 3. P Race fans, give him a hand, Kyle Cummins. So Learn Lab qualifying in the books. We'll have hot laps for the Dirt Car UMP Modifieds coming up here in just a moment. Once we get through that, we'll work into our opening ceremonies. We'll get a chance to introduce our Grand Marshal for this year's running of the Tony Hulman Classic. Dr. Patrick Sullivan will have the honors of introducing our Grand Marshal. We'll also have another special presentation for one of our drivers here. That'll be during opening ceremonies in just a little bit. But before that, Modifieds.
UMP Modifieds on track here at the Terre Action Track, a staple, as you well know, here on the Big Half Mile. James Walters, the winner last time we were here, and actually won by a wide margin, sort of spanked the field a little bit. He's back in tow for tonight's action. Glad you have joined us here at this facility. Big, big thanks to the track crew. I think you'd have to agree. I don't think many of us thought that this was going to happen. I didn't. I was actually not all that far from here. Spent a little time away from home, and it seemed to be raining constantly. And tracked the radar like everyone else did. and did notice that it looked to maybe miss the action track, and apparently it was even raining pretty hard just blocks away. But hard work has paid off as we've got the track in order. So it's a brief hot lap and qualifying session for the modifieds that we have. While we're waiting for them to come out, just a personal word. I got word that we lost Norm Young. Norm Young, a longtime open wheel racer in the Indianapolis area. You know, those of you from around the country, you probably don't know Norm Young, but you do because you've got a racetrack just like Norm somewhere near your favorite track and race. He was a staple at the Indianapolis Speedrome, a race winner at the Speedrome. His son Travis was USAC regional midget champion. Wife Pam was a fixture at the racetrack for years. Literally salt of the earth people. The kind of people, every racing series, no matter what we're talking about, has heroes and has stars. We've got Doug Coletta. He's a star in what he does. We know who the stars are at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We know who the stars are in the USAC National, Sprint Cars, NASCAR, etc. But every racing series in America is built on the backs of people, hardworking people who love to race, do so on the weekend, give it their best and have results, and go on to work the next day, then come back to the racetrack the following weekend. And there's a great privilege of knowing Norm Young and Travis and Pam, great people. So we're thinking of Travis and Pam tonight and memories of really a very solid race driver, Norm Young. Modifieds on the track. Race control give a little bit of instructions to the modifieds. We're going to make their way out. Most recent winner, James Walters in the 34 machine. Cunningham Farms entry from Brazil, Indiana. There's Hunt Gossip. He comes over from Mayfield, Kentucky, advanced machine and tool spec race engines. Zach Bunning graphics entry. Johnny Netherly from Palestine, Illinois, the Illini heating entry is also on the track. Travis Harem out of the 6J machine. He's from right here in Terre Haute. Travis is a guy that we most often see in Superstock competition in the area, and a good Superstock driver, always worth a victory or two every year, particularly at Lincoln Park Speedway. He has been in a modified this year over in Charleston, Illinois. So good to have Travis Harem with us tonight. We mentioned the James Walters, a winner this year, right here at the Terre Action Track. He's got a couple of fourth place finishes to his credit this year at Farmer City and Terre Haute. Hunt Gossip, also a winner at Red Hill Raceway in Summer, Illinois, and second at Illinois at Lincoln Speedway in Illinois. Johnny Netherly, another driver who's a regular at Red Hill Raceway in Sumner, Illinois. So we're trying to get everything in order here. By the way, I don't think there was any reason for any kidding around about this, but Friday night is the scheduled Josh Burton Memorial at Bloomington Speedway. $10,000 to win for the sprint cars. Now, has Bloomington Speedway got a lot of rain? It has. Can it stand much more? Probably not. But is it still on the card as of right now? It is. And for those of you planning to have attended the Hoosier 100 at Indianapolis Raceway Park along with the All-Star Midgets, if we get a miracle like we had here today, guess what? Going to be a good crowd and a good field of cars down at Bloomington Speedway for a $10,000 to win sprint car race in honor of a guy that was very important to folks at Bloomington Speedway. So we're just trying to get everything all squared away. One to go at the line, I believe. We're going to have a little hot lap / qualifying effort for the modifieds. As you well know, drivers in the UMP ranks compete for both state and national honors. Cole Falloway having a great year last year with the national champion. Tyler Lockmiller from right here in the area was the Indiana region champion last year. Green, white checkers, what we're looking at here. And there's the green. James Walters again won by a nice margin. And Gossip, I know for a while, certainly had some support from Carl Edwards as that 99 on the side of his modified. He's been to the action track before. I believe he was with us during the Hulman Classic one year, but there's Hunt Gossip. James Walters is the fastest thus far. Hunt Gossip's turned a 21.390. That's his best time and his last time. We're going to have to get some help from race control here to make sure we got the final cue on these drivers. Session is complete. Hunt Gossip's 21.390 is the fastest. 21.461 for James Walters. Nethery 23.661. And Travis Harem 21.481. You get that? We had to sort of patch that together a little bit there. And we had one without a transponder, which makes it very difficult to get a time. Qualifying group. Well, Tyler Weiss in the 50 in the Beatles towing. Wright Steel entry from Palestine, Illinois, should be out. 77C of Jason Cox. And I think we should probably have the 77. Is Justin Jones with us tonight? There's Weiss in the 50. Pretty car. Kenny Carmichael, the veteran, Scott's Custom Colors 92 from Terre, Haute. He's been a bomber, superstock, modified, and sprint car champion in his long and illustrious career. Jason Cox, the 77C, comes to us from Clinton, Indiana. That's the Jason Cox trucking entry. I'm trying to remember, Kenny, if we had him in a sprint car, Carmichael, this year or not. We had him last year, at least back in a sprint car. But when you take a look at drivers who have won track championships in the state of Indiana, Kenny Carmichael's well up on that list. He's been a winner this year already at Charleston, Illinois. That back on the 12th of April. Weiss has been second this year at Red Hill Raceway back on May the 9th. And Cox has been in the top 10 on a number of occasions this year. There goes Jason by the flag stand. There goes Kenny buying the 92, Carmichael Saw, Scott's Custom Colors entry, Cox buying the 77C, and Weiss in the green and black leaf design number 50. So a quick and efficient session, as you see. Tyler Weiss, 22.8088. Kenny Carmichael, 22.849. And Jason Cox, 23.373.
So hot laps and qualifying in the books. We'll have a few interviews and presentations here before we get things rolling. So down in victory lane with tonight's quick qualifier. We'll have that here in a little bit. Also a presentation to the driver who has now made the most consecutive A-feature starts in USAC National Sprint Car Competition, and it's only fitting that Christy would present the award to CJ.
Yeah, allow me to introduce the newest Ironman of the AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Series. CJ Leary over the weekend picked up his 328th consecutive start with the USAC National Sprint Car Series at Eldora Speedway, heading into what would be your 329th tonight at the Terre Haute Action Track, assuming all goes to plan. Over the years, since this streak started in 2017, in November of 2017, you have amassed 24 AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car victories, 57 fast qualifier awards, and 1 AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Championship. Can you put your finger on when you went from one of the young guns of this sport to one of the veterans?
That's tough. Honestly, no. I feel like I've been running the sport for a really long time. It has made me feel old, honestly. But you know, I didn't get here overnight, so just tried to be super consistent. You know, I came on tour in 2012, and honestly haven't missed very many since 2012. But yeah, no, just overall, just I really can't thank all the the partners and the teams that helped get me here. You know, I did a stint with Andy Reinbold and won our championship there, and then with Bill Michael for 2 years, and with Brock Garrett and Doug Doherty with the BG guys for 2 years, and the Foxco guys and Team Arizona. Just I bounced around a lot of different cars throughout the years also, but those main teams that stuck with me and ran full seasons is what really helped get me here. Honestly, my mom and dad did it with me for a long time, and no way could we have ran 328 of these in a row with our family team. It would have broke us for sure. But super happy to be here at Terre Haute tonight. The place is definitely juiced up. Early in the week, I definitely didn't think we would be here with all the rain that we got, and the week of Indy's a really special week for me, and get to run all these races around home and put on a good show for the fans. So just looking forward to the next 328.
You've done it with your family team in the 30 car. You've done it. You talked about Andy Reinbold, Brock Garrett, Doug Daugherty, Bill Michael, all of the teams, the Foxes now that are helping make all of these starts possible. If you can talk about all of the things that they've done to help make this possible, it really does speak to your tenacity as a race car driver and as a person to be able to put all of those starts together among different teams and different seasons of both racing and of your life. What are some of the characteristics that have helped make this possible?
I just hit on like the first one, consistency, just showing up, trying to do my job every night, and durability, and man, honestly, I don't know, just just showing up each night, new night, just trying to do the best we can with what we got. You know, we obviously don't have as many wins as we'd like, but this isn't easy. USAC National Sprint Car Racing, even at the local level, is hard. So any night you can win, you should hang your hat on it, because the highs are high and the lows are even lower.
He now holds the record for the most consecutive starts with the AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Series. CJ Leary is the new Ironman of the AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Series. Wrapped that up last weekend at Eldora with 328 in the book in a row. And your current AMSOIL USAC National Series point leader, Kyle Cummins, takes home another Learn Lab Fast Qualifying Award for the 2026 season. Kyle, that second lap, nearly a second faster than the first one. What'd you find that second time around?
Well, the first lap was a little wild. But no, it's you kind of got to, from hot laps to going out and qualifying, you're just really not sure kind of where the ruts are at, and you know it's going to be a very treacherous night tonight. But so I kind of just feel it out, you know, get your eyes on everything just one time, get a decent lap in, which it was terrible. And then the second lap, I knew I had to at least do something. And but you know, once you when you come out of there after hot lapping and the track kind of the way it is, it's like you've never seen it before. You know what I'm saying? So you know, didn't want to tear it up on the first lap. Get a smooth. My idea was just to get a lap in, and then you know, put down, you know, what I can do on the second lap. But starting 6 tonight, we make it through the heat race good, and then starting 6 tonight, we'll make it very challenging. And but you know, this is the ruts and guts of USAC. If anyone's up here watching, it's going to be a very very aggressive race. And you know, Mother Nature gave us some water here, and the last Terre Haute I thought was awesome. It was smooth, slick, and have a lot of fun. Tonight it'll be a little bit more white-knuckled, but it should put a wild show on for the fans. And you know, hopefully you know, you can feel the stands up next time you come back.
Obviously, Terre Haute, like you mentioned, a little bit more on the treacherous side tonight. You did pick up your first win here at the Terre Haute Action Track with the AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Series back last month in April. Picked up your first Eldora win with the AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Series last weekend. Is the Hulman the next thing on your list?
I need a rifle. That's on the last race there. I got this little bitty trophy, and you know, a rifle would be big to for me and Jerry. And Jerry Petty's here tonight, so that's pretty cool to hopefully get him a win, get him down here, and you know, we can both hold them rifles, and that'd be a really cool trophy to take home this week.
He needs a rifle, plain and simple. Let's give him one. That's Kyle Cummins. He's your Learn Lab Fast Qualifier tonight for the Hulman Classic here at the Terre Haute Action Track.
23rd time in his career, he has been your Learn Lab qualifier. Second year in a row, he has been the quick qualifier here in the Hulman Classic. Of course, remember last year, Mother Nature intervening and got pushed into the month of October. So I have opening ceremonies coming up here in just a little bit. That means you have just some time to go down, grab yourself something to eat, something to drink, and again, make sure you swing by the USAC merchandise trailer. Not only can you get all the great USAC merchandise, the hats, hoodies, t-shirts, blankets as well. I know it's starting to warm up, but sometimes you might need a pad for your seat when you head to the races, so make sure and swing by and pick up one of those blankets. Also, the Hoosier 100 t-shirts are available. Again, a reminder, that event has been pushed to June 25th. Mother Nature not looking too promising the rest of the week, so they have made the decision to move that event. Again, it will be in the month of June, but you can get the t-shirt before we even get to the event at the USAC merchandise trailer. Don't forget, racing action continuing tomorrow. We headed to Circle City Raceway up just on the outside of Indianapolis for the Circle City Salute. That is presented by Desnuda Organic Tequila. We hope to see you up there tomorrow. 10,000 tonight, another 10,000 on the line for the winner tomorrow. And don't forget, coming up, we head to the sprint car capital of the world to end out the month of May. We're talking the Avante Windows and Doors Corn Belt Clash. That'll be on May 29th and 30th. Tickets on sale at KnoxvilleRaceway.com. 10,000 to win on Friday, 15,000 to win on Saturday. Make plans to attend. Again, that is also induction weekend for the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, as we get to honor some of the greats of our sport, along with some great racing action. Again, KnoxvilleRaceway.com for tickets to the Avante Windows and Doors Corn Belt Clash. So right now the pack truck trying to move the groove up the racetrack a little bit, give us a little bit wider surface. See the track with just a little bit of character on the entrance of turn number 1. Couple of drivers going in and hooking the right rear in that rut and upsetting the car a little bit. So we'll let them roll the high side of the speedway for just a moment. Winners in the Hulman Classic coming into this weekend. Of course, Robert Ballou sits atop of that list with a trio of wins. Kerry Foss also with a trio of wins, along with Levi Jones and Chris Wyndham, Steve Butler, Poncho Carter, Jerry Coons Jr., Dave Darlin, Jack Hewitt, John Stambro, Rich Vogler, and J.J. Yeley, who is in the house, all with a pair of wins in this event. Of course, Grant picking up his first one last year, Seavey in 2024, Bacon in 2023, Ballou's last win in this event in 2022, Wyndham going back-to-back in 2020 and 2021. An absolute stacked list of past winners here in the Tony Hulman Classic, of course, paying homage to the man who founded the United States Auto Club and also brought the Indianapolis 500 back to its glory. Back truck going to make just a couple of more laps here. Some of the push vehicles also going to come out to help, again, work the high side of the speedway in. Don't forget you can follow along with all the action with the My Race Pass app. Free to download in the Apple and Android markets. Rosters, results, lineups, and everything all right in the palm of your hand if you do get the premium membership that does include live timing and scoring. And a reminder, if you do see it on our social media channels as well as on the My Race Pass app or even on Race Monitor, it is unofficial. Official news, notes, and points are done at the close of the night's program at USACracing.com. So the pack truck clearing, the push vehicles will begin to make their way off of the racing surface. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached that point of the evening. Will you please rise for our invocation and national anthem? If you would, please remove cover. Out of respect to those who serve this nation and in honor of those who have given their lives in her defense. Before we get to our invocation tonight, a quick moment of silence for a legendary car owner who partnered with the famed Two Winners Racing Team, which fielded the iconic number 7 TW, Bob Kramer. Learning has passed away. If you would, a moment of silence out of respect for him and his family. Our Father in heaven, tonight, as you would look down upon these grounds, we would ask that you watch over these drivers. But before we ask of that protection, we would give thanks for that protection. We would thank you for your glory, your grace, and above all, your forgiveness. When we fall short of your path, you never fail to bring us back as long as we would simply turn to you. And for that protection, Lord, not only do we ask that hedge of protection on the drivers who would compete here tonight, but you would extend it to all who gathers on these grounds, the drivers, the crews, the fans, the officials, that you would watch over us in every aspect of our lives, and that the competition, the fire, the drive that keeps these drivers returning to the track would never fade. We ask all these things and give thanks in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
It's about to get real. It's about to get real. It's about to get real. You ready? This is it now, can't quit now. Feel the pressure is on the rise. I'm burning inside, energy is high, and I feel so alive. Had to face up, so I prayed up. Put my
Set to get the week of Indy underway, and we kick things off with K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 1 here with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. 8 laps the distance, 6 out of each of these going to move on into your main event. Everybody else going to your 5-star bodies semi-feature. Cars will parade out to the front straightaway, and your lineup set to roll to the green like this. Driver on the poles out of Columbus, Ohio. The Industrial Hydraulics Incorporated Jet Fuel Trailer sells Mopar XXX number 6T. It's going to be tall Trey Osborne. Outside of him, out of Sutter, California, piloting the Mountain Mechanical Contractors, Drop Light Indy Power Sports Stanton DRC number 57. That is Logan Seavey. Second row from the inside out of Greenfield, Indiana. Driver the Jarvis Enterprises, Foxcoat DRC, Bachelor Motorsports, Primetime Financial number 53. It'll be CJ Leary. And rolling from the fourth starting spot out of Coleman, Alabama, the Majestic Electric Inland Rigging Bird Racing, Ross State Racer number 3R of Kevin Thomas Jr. Next row from the inside, Jake Swanson out of Anaheim, California, the Inland Rigging, Darty Motorsports, One Way DRC, Snake Enterprises, Burris Racing number 5T. And from the sixth starting spot, your Learn Lab Quick Qualifier, the Avante Windows and Doors, Jugo Superfoods, Premier Recycling, Pettit Performance number 3P of Kyle Cummins. Jaden Rogers out of Worthington, Indiana, goes from 7th in the Beasley's Railcar Repair Spec DRC chassis number 14, and next to him is going to be Harley Burns out of Brazil, Indiana, the Britt Arrow Timberland Lumber Company 16 Chevrolet DRC Youngblood Farms, the Ace Corp number 16. Ninth starter, Brandon Maddox. He's from right here in town. Driver the Whitman Roofing, TCB Speed North, Gressman DRC, Acroloop Pro Max Racing Wheel number 28. And your final starter is set to be Carl Rubottom. He's out of Brazil, Indiana. Driver the Shopmeyer Rubottom powered Maxim Lovitz Construction number 83. As that'll be your scheduled lineup again for K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 1. Again, 8 laps the distance. Top 6 is where you want to be to move on directly into your feature event. Joined in the heat races by Miss Christy Leary. Track has definitely got some character. Mother Nature coming in last night, laying down quite a bit of moisture into the evening. Luckily, the forecast missing this morning, just a couple of small sprinkles, so the crew was able to get out about noon and kind of open things up and really start to get after it. But even after they opened it up, it proved how well they sealed it off. They still had to lay water down. Yeah, it rained just about everywhere but here, I think, today. So that was pretty impressive. Yeah, definitely an interesting Terre Haute that we've got tonight. But, you know, the last several times that we've been here, with the exception of the Hurtabeast just last month, it's been similar conditions to what we're looking at tonight. So it's not a classic Terre Haute, that's for sure. But it is similar to what we've been looking at the last several times we've been here. I know during the Hurtabeast Classic, drivers were so excited because it was dry. It was all the way to the wall. It was like, man, this is what we all grew up watching. It was pretty classic, yes. And definitely proved to be a classic event. Finally picking up a Terre Haute win was Kyle Cummins. Again, he said, man, I just got the little trophy. Got to have the rifle. Everybody wants that rifle. You look at, great trophies in racing. The rifle here during the Hulman. You've got the Golden Driller in Tulsa. You've got the Grandfather Clock in Martinsville. Sometimes the trophy's cooler than the actual race. Sometimes. Yeah, so this is one of those crown jewel events for sure, one that everybody puts on their list. And you've seen it multiple times with drivers that have put it in victory lane here during the Hulman. It's just exhilarating to be able to say that you've won this one. And if you're not familiar where the rifle came from, this event before it was the Tony Hulman Classic. It was a twin 30-lap feature, so it was the 30-30. So the rifle came about as the 30-30. It was all just way too fitting to become the trophy. Field getting situated up behind the Toyota Racing Development pace truck. Again, Trey Osborne on the pole in the 6th. Some mechanical issues at Eldora. Had a podium run going. In fact, had a shot at a runner-up place finish. Unfortunately, the engine letting go on night number 1 relegated him to a 12th place finish. Finished 11th the following night. Logan Seavey going to line up next to him in the 57. Seavey, winner of this event in 2024. He ran 11th here 1 year ago. Leary lining up at the 3rd spot. Kevin Thomas Jr. in 4th. Jake Swanson in 5th. Kyle Cummins in 6th. Jaden Rogers, Harley Burns, Brandon Maddox, and Carl Rubottom set to round out your lineup. Toyota Racing Development pace truck pulls down into the infield, set to go with the NOS Energy start can at the exit of turn number 4. Side by side, nose to tail. Through that point on the speedway, Tall. Going to bring him around with a slow pace, finds the throttle. We're underway. The Mopar going to lead him into turns 1 and 2. We'll see if he can hold on to the top spot right and around that inside guardrail, but up on the outside, getting the right rear wound up. Here comes the 57 of Logan Seavey. He'll try to take over the top spot. Drag race onto the back straightaway. The Mopar so far holding off the field here. It's going to be Trey Osborne hustling around the bottom side of the racetrack onto the front straightaway. Seavey back up to the top again, side by side to the front straightaway. Advantage this time to Logan Seavey.
Got a little bit too sideways there for Trey Osborne coming out of turn number 4. That allowed CJ Leary to close that gap. Not able to make the pass just yet as he gets down the backstretch, takes over second.
Able to put distance on the rest of the field now. Race for that second spot. New contender into the mix on that one. Here comes CJ Leary in the 53. Leary working right to the middle groove at turns 3 and 4. He'll come around. He'll pick up a little bit of silver in his pocket here. Drops Osborne back to third. Trey going to try to fight back on that inside line. KTJ in the meantime going to look to the outside. He'll see if he can get the final step on the podium here. It's going to be the advantage to the 6. Now here comes Cummins in the 3P. He'll charge that inside line, try to get a 2-for-1 deal at the exit turn number 2. Door shut, closed on him. Oh, look out. Leary all kinds of sideways, and they are slipping and slide for that third spot. Here comes Cummins. He's got 1, he's got 2. He's up to third now in 3.
So Kyle Cummins coming with a head of steam, sits in that third spot. Bit of a breakaway for the top 2. Leary's got a good run on Seavey down the backstretch into turn number 3.
Down to the inside rolls the 53. We'll see if he can grab the run onto the front straightaway. He does. Up across the racing surface, skips the right rear, right up in front of the 57, and CJ Leary's going to come around to take over on lap number 4. So Leary up into the lead, Seavey back to second. The 3s are going at it here. Here comes Kevin Thomas Jr. back to the inside, clears Kyle Cummins onto the back straightaway. He's going to look down to the bottom side here after the Mount Mechanical Contractor, number 57. He'll try to get to second. Kicks her sideways, but he holds on to it. Up into the runner-up spot goes the 3R.
So Kevin Thomas Jr. on the charge now, sits in that second spot, started 4th. As Logan Seavey beginning to fall to the distant wayside into the grips of Kyle Cummins.
CJ Leary 3rd to 1st in this one. Kevin Thomas Jr. 4th to 2nd. Now the challenge for the 3rd spot. Seavey trying to hold on to it. Cummins coming away with it. Cummins in the 3 from the 6th position is up into 3rd. Seavey, starting the outside of run number 1, is back to 4th. And 5th is going to be Jake Swanson. And the final transfer spot after leading early, Trey Osborne has been shuffled back to the 6th position. Right now on the outside looking in, Rogers, Burns, Maddox, and Rubottom as the white flag flies. Challenge from Swanson on Seavey. Swanson going to swing to the inside of turns 1 and 2 in the 57. He'll try to take the 4th spot away. Here is your leader. Works on to the back straightaway one last time. He's going to work a little bit wider that time into turn number 3. Diamonds it down to the bottom exit, turn number 4. Checker flag going to drop in this one, and it will be CJ Leary winning in K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 1. Kevin Thomas Jr. crossing in 2nd. Kyle Cummins in 3rd. Jake Swanson gets 4th on the final lap. Logan Seavey and Trey Osborne, the final driver, moving on into the feature event. Jaden Rogers, Harley Burns, Brandon Maddox, and Carl Rubottom unofficially rounding out your field. They head on to your 5-star body semi-feature event. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, he comes to you out of Greenfield, Indiana, driver of the Jarvis Enterprises, Bachelor Motorsports, Primetime Financial, Indy Medal finishing number 53. Race fans, give him a hand, C.J. Leary. So C.J. Leary picking to the win in K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 1. He'll come to a stop at the front straightaway, and Drake York going to get a word with our Heat Race winner.
We just talked to CJ Leary a minute ago as he was accepting quite a cool photo for being the new USAC Ironman with 328 consecutive starts. You can make it 329 here tonight at the Terre Haute Action Track. CJ with his 4th heat race win on the season. And CJ, yeah, you made the pass down in turns 3 and 4, but you really set it up through turns 1 and 2. Tell us how you set up Logan Seavey for that pass in 3 and 4, because like I said, it really started in turn 2.
Yeah, for sure. Didn't get the qualifying effort we wanted. I knew we needed to rebound and win the heat race. Our car has been pretty good all night. Just was able to get above the cushion a little bit and turn across really well without getting too hung up in the holes. So honestly, with Logan starting in the front row, I figured he'd be really hard to beat. He's really good here. So maybe that's a testament of how good our Fox Code 53 is tonight. So really looking forward to the feature and seeing what we got.
CJ Leary wants the rifle bad here in the Hulman Classic. He was 2nd in this race last year. He'll look to go 1 spot better here tonight.
Thank you very much. TJ Forge Heat Race number 2 making its way out onto the front straightaway lineup for this 8-lap affair. Going to find Hunter Maddox in the 24M on the pole position. Maddox Out of Bloomington, Indiana, driving the TJD Roofing and Exteriors, and Megacorp Logistics, number 24M. Outside of him is going to be Hayden Reinbold. Reinbold at Gilbert, Arizona, the AME Electrical, Stanton Spike Chassis, Reinbold Development Incorporated, Mesilla Valley Transportation, number 19. JJ Yeley out of Phoenix, Arizona, the Eclipse Claim Consulting, MPV Express, Fisher Ripper Chassis, Ely Transportation, Avante Windows and Doors, number 51. He'll go from third. From the fourth starting spot, Briggs Danner out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, the Schneider & Sons Recycling Keystone Cap, Ryder DRC Chassis, number 39. The Man Robert Ballou to Rockland, California for the fifth starting spot. The Suburban Subaru, Dean's Waterfront Services, Donut DRC number 12. And outside of him, it will be Chase Stockton out of Fort Branch, Indiana. The England Machine and Tool, Moments by Morgan, Lucas Oil Center, Moose Racing, Ted Brown Quality Paint and Body, number 92. Jack Hoyer out of Frankfort, Indiana, the Intact Management Group, Hoyer Chevrolet, DRC Chassis, number 11. He goes from 7th. From 8th, it's Charles Davis Jr. out of Buckeye, Arizona. The MP Environmental, Black Magic Bead Breaker, Stanton DRC Chassis, FK Indy, number 47. Final row for the inside, Adam Taylor out of Wheatfield, Indiana, the Horizon Carpentry Incorporated, Mongo Crane, Kircher Triple X, Belling Racing Equipment, number 8T. And your final starter is set to be Austin Nye out of Greenfield, Indiana, driver of the Billy's Tequila, DRC Chassis, the Brigade Shooting Company, number 97. That'll be your scheduled lineup again for TJ Ford's heat race number 2 of 3 with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. Cars are waiting here on the front straightaway for TJ Ford's heat race number 2. Real quick, let's check in with Drake.
Yeah, Brian, you talked about Austin Nye starting rear of the field in this one. His qualifying time in Learn Lab qualifying was disallowed, and unfortunately that penalty is going to follow him through the entirety of the night. No matter what race he'll end up in, he'll probably start very tail end of the field. But I did want to talk about Austin Nye for some positive reasons. He's got a lot going on here this week. We talk about Week of Indy, usually consisting of the Terre Action Track here tonight for the Hulman Classic, Circle City tomorrow, and then typically the Hoosier 100. Of course, we got to wait till June now to run the Hoosier 100 and then the Little 500. But Austin Nye has got his own Week of Indy going, and it's a lot of dirt racing too. So obviously he's here at the Action Track tonight. He'll be at Circle City tomorrow with us on Thursday. Then he'll race locally at Bloomington on Friday, Lincoln Park on Saturday, and Kokomo on Sunday to round out his week in the BC Indiana Double. And this is one of the smaller teams you'll find, especially when it comes to national racing too. And this team has made a good habit over the last few years, no question about trying to make it to as many USAC national races as possible. To the best of my knowledge and everybody I've talked to and everything I've seen on social media, they're the only team attempting that Week of Indy, so to speak, here with running with the USAC National Sprint Car Championship here tonight and tomorrow, and then locally over the course of the rest of the week. It's going to be certainly fun to see how that goes for Austin Nye. Like I said, not your typical Week of Indy, but they're certainly finding a lot of racing here to do during Memorial Day week and weekend.
Thank you very much. The field will begin to fire for TJ Ford's heat race number 2. Hunter Maddox in the 24M, again slated to bring him down to the drop of the green flag. 3-time starter here at Terre Haute. He finished 20th in this event last year. His best run, 2023, a 17th place finish for the 2024 USAC National Sprint Car Rookie of the Year. Trying to make his second A-feature appearance of the season in the number 24M. Hayden Reinbold. One start last year, went 8th from 15th, was your Ronda Supply hard charger. And Hayden was still really trying to get his feet underneath him in a sprint car and really has picked up a ton of speed ever since then. And oh, by the way, that Silver Crown win in his inaugural start with the series. So he's definitely starting to get a lot more confidence behind the wheel, no matter what level of USAC he's racing at right now.
Yeah, so in the year's time that we've talked about his last run here for the Hulman, he's picked up his first USAC NOS Energy Drink National Midget Feature victory over on the half mile at Eldora Speedway, as well as that win in Hutchinson just a few weekends ago.
Provisional.
A half mile expert.
He's starting to get pretty good at him. A 19th place finish, night number 1 at Eldora. He struggled a little bit, got the 7th place on night number 2. Got the half miles figured out. He's got the short tracks figured out as well. And one of the harder tracks to figure out, of course, we're talking about Tri-State, walked away with a 4th place finish.
And man, that team has worked so hard, especially with Mitchell Moles and Dylan Cook. Man, they've worked hard to get that program dialed in down there, which was why that win for them was so monumental.
Yeah, for him to get the win and for Hayden to finish in the top 5 was great for the entire team. JJ Yeley back in USAC National Sprint Car Competition tonight. Has an O'Reilly race coming up this weekend in Charlotte. Everything worked out where he was able to come down and play around. And Flea Ruzick turning the wrenches on the Ripper Fisher powered Eclipse Claim Consulting number 51. Of course, winner of this event twice, 1997 and 2003. His last appearance here all the way back in 2004 with a 3rd place run. 2003 USAC Triple Crown champion. Will take off from the inside of run number 2. Briggs Danner outside of him. He's out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. A coil-over front suspension on that number 39 here this weekend. Doing a little bit of test and tuning. So him and Yeley with something in common here with the way the front of those cars are set up.
Yeah, a little R&D going on. Something interesting to keep an eye on throughout TJ Ford's heat race number 2 that I noticed during K1 race gear heat race number 1. Almost every single car in the field did it at least once, getting kicked a little bit sideways coming off of turn number 4 here.
Yeah, they get there and it's like the banana peel gets tossed out in Mario Kart. All of a sudden they are just absolutely kicked sideways. So we'll see if they were able to control that. We got one stop to the racetrack, and Charles is not charging. Coming to a stop, and officials already over there wondering if maybe it's a quick safety stop again. If a driver has an issue with their belts, the receiver, something going on, they can stop at an official and tell them what's going on, see if it can get taken care of right there. They will get their starting position back. If it's more than that, though, and they have to go to the end of metal finishing work area, if you come back out, you're going to the tail. So officials getting Davis figured out in the number 47, a 5-time starter here in the Hulman Classic. His last feature start was an 18th place run in 2024. 2006, his best appearance in this event, a 16th place finish for the 2018 USAC Southwest Sprint Car champion. The USAC Southwest Sprint Car Series going away for a while, but it is back in 2026. Speaking of Charles Davis being a former champion of that series. Bruce St. James, the Radio Flyer, currently leads the points with that series. Of course, it's brought to you by Avante Windows and Doors. Charles Davis Jr. currently sitting second. R.J. Johnson, Stevie Sussex, and Dylan Peretta currently round out the top 5 with that series. So Davis will get his starting position back. So again, Maddox and Reinbold row number 1, Yeley, then Danner row number 2, Robert Ballou, Chase Stockin in row number 3, Jack Hoyer, Charles Davis Jr., Adam Taylor, and Austin Nye round out your lineup. Last time we saw Adam Taylor in competition had a 604 crate engine in that machine. Is finally procured a 410 here. So looking to carry a little bit more speed, a little bit better success for the Wheatfield, Indiana driver. Slow pace of the NOS Energy start can. Again, that is the point where the drivers can find the throttle here. Looking for a nice even start through that point. They make their way around to the front straightaway. They find the throttle. We're underway. Reinbold on the outside going to have the advantage. They work into turns 1 and 2. Maddox going to fall to third here as J.J. Yeley working the outside. He's going to take over the second spot here. Now here comes the 92 of Stockin. He's going to try to grab 2 spots at a shot here through turns 3 and 4. He's got 1, maybe. He's going to go for 2, 3 wide. Ballew's to the outside. The 92 with the run to the front straightaway, but Ballew's going to beat him to the punch in the 3rd spot.
Chase Stockin sort of creating a line all the way down on the guardrail, maybe just a lane lower than everybody else is on the bottom side of the racetrack. However, not really able to make that ground on Robert Ballou just yet, but just as I say it, able to throw it in there, and they're going to come out nearly side by side on turn number 4.
Ballou on the outside so far, able to keep the 92 at bay here as they work into turns 1 and 2. In the meantime, Hayden Reinbold leading, J.J. Yeley running at second. They're still side by side for that 3rd spot. Ballou on the outside, working the cushion, holds on to it. Stock, and then Danner and Hunter Maddox getting shuffled all the way back to the final transfer spot into the feature event. He rides in 6. Hoyer trying to reel him in. Charles Davis, Adam Taylor, and Austin Nye right now running out your running order. Stockin switching his lineup now, entering to the top. Oh, look out, Robert! Puts her on a 900 horsepower pogo stick, but gets it back underneath him somehow and only loses 2 spots in the process. So he gets shuffled back to the 5th position here. Stockin and Danner both able to make their way by. Danner way outside over in the exit turn number 4. That thing all kinds of sideways with the rooster tails flying. Keeps it back underneath him, holds on to that 4th spot. Challenge for the transfer spot. Hoyer coming after the 24M, denied over in turns 1 and 2.
But what a save for the 12 Robert Ballou, and he's right back at it, running that same line that he was when all of that just went down just a lap ago. It's a 3-race battle for the lead.
Stockin down to the bottom, Yeley to the outside. They're both setting sights on the 19 of Hayden Reinbold. Reinbold just smoothly around the bottom side of the speedway, trying to fend off the charge of the 2 Wiley veterans here as they work onto the far side of the Terre Haute action track. Here comes the 92. He's going to throw her down deep into 3. Up just a little bit here into the tire tracks of your leader. He'll hook the right rear, gets her on the bike just a little bit. Yeley able to capitalize, gets back into 2nd. Great recovery by Yeley to get back to the second spot. Good save by the 92. And oh, by the way, here comes Briggs Danner in the 39. He'll start to close in here. The Pennsylvanian coming in to challenge. He'll look for the third position. This time as they work into turns 3 and 4. Stocking up the track a little bit, takes the line away, but not for long. Danner kicks her sideways, loses some ground. He's going to ride in that 4th spot. Stocking holds on to 3rd. White flag has flown, and the chaos from second on back has allowed Hayden Reinbold to get just a little bit of breathing room. We've got 2 more turns to go. Enters nicely into 3 out of turn number 4. He's going to turn the car down just a tick here. Comes to the front straightaway. Checker flag going to drop on Hayden Reinbold in TJ Ford's heat race number 2. Yeley holds on to 2nd. Stocking in 3rd. Danner in 4th. Robert Ballou in 5th. And Hunter Maddox holds on to the final transfer into the feature event. Hoyer, Davis, Taylor, and Nye unofficially rounding out your field. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, he comes to you to Gilbert, Arizona, driver of the AME Electrical, Reinbold Development Incorporated, Mississippi Valley Transportation, number 19. Give him a hand, Hayden Reinbold. J.J. Yeley in 2nd, Chase Stocking in 3rd, Briggs Danner in 4th, Robert Ballou in 5th, Hunter Maddox in 6th. Those 6 drivers onto the feature event: Jack Hoyer, Charles Davis Jr., Adam Taylor, and Austin Nye. They are all headed to the 5-Star Bodies semi-feature event. Hayden coming to a stop here on the front straightaway, and he had pressure aplenty for most of that race. Keep it calm, cool, and collected. Walks away with the win. He's going to get a word with Genevieve Malone.
Things getting a little dicey in that TJ Ford heat race too. Did you realize what was going on behind you? Did you ever have to transition into more of a defensive mode?
Oh, a little bit. I could kind of feel something behind me, but yeah, this is probably my biggest kryptonite track. I'm just not very good here, but trying to get better, and that helps a ton. I know to start at 16th, and maybe I start like 7th or 8th. It would help me out a lot.
Hayden Reinbold taking that TJ Ford heat race 3.
Thank you very much. K&N Filters heat race number 3. Going to parade its way onto the front straightaway. Drivers set for the poles out of Loomis, California. Driver the Barn System Incorporated, Donut DRC, Murray's Body Shop, Pendleton Farms, SteelCoUSA.com. Number 42, it's going to be Max Adams. Outside, row number 1, Logan Collarwood at Goodyear, Arizona. The MP Environmental GFT Ready Mix One-Way Triple X chassis, number 6. Second row for the inside, out of Oxnard, California, coming in off of a weekend sweep with the Avante Windows and Doors USAC CRA Series and the Superior Tank and Trailer Physical Medicine Consultants, Mississippi Valley Transportation, Morris Farms, number 41 is going to be Ricky Lewis. Next to him for the 4th starting spot, David Gasper out of Santa Barbara, California, the Simply Birdhouse, TSR, Clee, CSI, Freeland Power, DRC, number 77S. The 19AZ inside of row number 3, Mitchell Moles out of Raisin City, California. The AME Electrical, Reinbold Development Incorporated, Indy Race Parts, Spike Stanton Power, number 19. And outside of him, Justin Grant out of Ione, California. The NOS Energy Drink, MPV Logistics, Stanton Max of Chassis, Top Industries, G&G Racing Fuels at number 4. Next row from the inside, Cale Coons out of Greencastle, Indiana. The Curb Records, Mechanical Advantage, Coletta Charters, Neil Tire, Impact Racing Optics, number 63. And from the 8th starting spot, Troy Carey out of Tullamore, New South Wales, Australia. Driver the Skyline Building, Supas, Hog Heaven, Claxton, Ripper Chassis, Glitch Contracting, number 45 in. Final starter in K&N Filters heat race number 3 at a New Palestine, Indiana. Driver the DRC J&D Performance, number 7S, that is Jake Simmons. As that'll be your scheduled lineup for K&N Filters heat race number 3. Again, 8 times around, top 6 go directly into your feature event. Adams with a little bit of an issue at the start of the night. Was supposed to be out in your opening flight of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. We saw him a little bit later on. And Drake, you have an update.
Yeah, Brian, you hit the nail on the head there about the issues that Max Adams and that 42 team faced at the very beginning of the night. It was actually a very minor fuel issue, so we saw him get back out on the racetrack later, as you noted. And wanted to talk about Max, too. Had a really strong run the second and final night of Let's Race 2 at the Eldora Speedway. Brought it home in the top 10 despite only racing just a few times this year. He told me Saturday night at Eldora was about his 6th time he raced in 2026 so far. But it seems like no matter how long he's in or out of the race car, Max Adams is a very quiet but calculated racer. And you look at his record here in the Hulman Classic. He started this race 5 times in his career, and he's finished in the top 10 3 times in his career. For whatever reason, this race in this place has always suited Max Adams' driving style. Now paired up with Dwight Cheney this weekend in that 42 machine. Hasn't been exactly the start he's hoping to this evening, but we'll see if he can grab a heat race win. As we talk about all the time, Brian, with the USAC National Sprint Car Championship, these heat race wins are invaluable to these teams. So we'll see if Max can start from pole and bring it home here, but he's got a lot of good cars lined up next to him and behind him.
Indeed, thank you very much. The Toyota Racing Development pace truck on the front straightaway. We'll let the field jackrabbit around a little bit, make their way up, and start getting in line. Again, Max Adams from the pole. Calderwood next to him in the 6th machine. Ricky Lewis, the number 41. He's up to 9 wins this season. Still all outside of USAC national competition. It's the one that's eluded him. USAC CRA competition opening up the season at Imperial Valley. That was back in March on the 13th and 14th. Got another win on March 21st at Paris with the USAC CRA series. USAC Southwest win Central Arizona on April 18th. Went down to Springfield, Missouri with the USAC MRA series on April 25th and went to Victory Lane. Back out with the USAC CRA series on May 2nd, a win at Ventura. Great Lakes Traditional Sprints at I-96 on May 8th. And, of course, this past weekend down in Central Arizona with the USAC CRA Series, winning both Friday and Saturday night. Driver next to him, the 77S machine. Again, the TSR Clee, simply Birdhouse number 77. David Gasper. Mitchell Moles going from inside of row number 3 in the 19 AZ. USAC National winner up at Tri-State down on May 2nd, a 4-time starter here in the Hulman Classic. 19th place finish last year for Mitchell Moles. A 15th and a 5th last weekend during Let's Race 2 up at Eldora. He'll roll from the 5th starting spot. Justin Grant in the 4. Of course, the winner of this event last year, a 4-time winner at Terre Haute in USAC National Sprint Car Competition, a 16-time starter here in the Hulman Classic. 3 wins in Sprint Car and National Midget Competition, Ocala, Red Hill, and, of course, the Kokomo Grand Prix, all sites of Justin Grant victories. Cale Coons, Troy Carey, and the 7S. First time we're seeing him this season, Jake Simmons. Set to round out the lineup to the NOS Energy start can off of turn number 4. Caution lights are dark. Green light will come on. We're underway. Calderwood getting the run into turns 1 and 2, but it may have been a little too good of a run. And indeed, officials on the receiver one-way radio informing Calderwood he took off just a little bit too soon, so he will suffer a 2-spot penalty.
Side by side through that NOS Energy Drink start can that you'll see down there in turn number 4.
So that is going to shuffle things up. They don't crisscross in this case, or they don't go straight up. They crisscross in this case, I should say. Ricky Lewis going to go from 3rd up to the 2nd spot. Now the 77S going to drop to the inside line to 3rd, and Calderwood going to drop back to the 4th position.
So it changes things for the approach of both Ricky Lewis and David Gasper, whether you're starting on the inside or the outside, especially important today.
Heat race number 1, Trey Osborne had a really good launch into turns 1 and 2. Unfortunately, fell back later in the race. Ryan Bold in heat race number 2 from the outside line, a really good launch into turns 1 and 2. That catapulted him onto a victory. So now, like you said, that changes the approach. Lewis going to the outside. Does that maybe give him a slight advantage here? Max Adams and him, the California drivers, going to drag race it when they come around to the NOS Energy start can. Here we go. Much cleaner start. Both drivers picking up the pace at the same time. And answer, yes, it is the advantage to the 41. Ricky Lewis able to jump out and lead him onto the back straightaway.
It's a cluster for 3rd on back right now. Calderwood sort of leading that charge, but here comes Mitchell Moles down to the inside. Calderwood going to beat him to it.
Yeah, Calderwood goes down and takes the line away, but up top here comes Justin Grant. He's going to lay the right rear up on it here. The rooster tail flies onto the front straightaway. He'll go side by side with Moles at the line. He does have the advantage. Calderwood in the meantime trying to get back up into 2nd here, but Grant on the outside and absolutely moving right now on the 4.
Justin Grant so far one of the only cars, at least thus far, that's been able to really smoothly run that top side without getting too caught up in some sort of a mess.
And watching his entry in turn 3, almost gingerly on the outside, not really tossing it in. Same thing, you see the sparks fly off that inboard rotor, really having to kind of lay the car down and get it back underneath him, and then utilizing through the center and just launching onto the back straightaway. Takes over that 2nd spot from Max Adams. So Grant, we'll see if he can get up and possibly reel in Ricky Lewis, trailed by 1.405 seconds last time as they come around to cook-off lap number 3. The difference under a second already.
Well, it's working well for Justin Grant, whatever he's doing, to be able to so smoothly run the top side of the racetrack. Calderwood, though, making a lot of hay on the bottom side of the racetrack. He's fought his way back up to 3rd.
Going up to the high side this time over in turns 3 and 4, so he's kind of moving his line around a little bit, but keep an eye on Justin Grant. He's only a couple of car lengths back and looking for the lead rather. He's going to get the momentum onto the back straightaway. Exit to number 2, Ricky Lewis. The car going to finally fire there at the exit of the turn. Able to match speed with the 4 for the time being, but can he hold on to it? Lewis moving his line around. Grant now looking right at his back bumper. He's going to look down to the bottom. Nothing happening there. Ricky Lewis holds off the charge of the USAC National Champion.
Justin Grant going to use the top side to his advantage. Going to drive right around the outside of Ricky Lewis. He takes over the lead of K&N Filters Heat Race number 3.
So from 6th to 1st for Justin Grant. And again, nobody so far has been able to get up and tiptoe that high line the way he is doing. And like I said, almost keeping the car straight on entry, letting it get to the middle and then launch. Ricky this time going to switch his lineup, but he's not even as high on the track as we see our leader right now. So they'll come around this time to the wave of the white flag. Grant immediately putting nearly a half a straightaway on the number 41. Calderwood still running in 3rd. Moles, Adams, and Coons, those drivers sitting in transfer spots last time by. 1 to go. Mitchell Moles trying to get one more spot here in this one. Calderwood so far able to keep him at bay as they work off of turn number 2 and onto the back straightaway. In the meantime, checkered flag going to come out in this one. Puts it up on the high side and lets her eat. The Hoosier getting all it can handle here as Justin Grant comes around to win K&N Filters Heat Race number 3. Ricky Lewis in 2nd. Calderwood wins the drag race for 3rd. Moles, Adams, and Cale Coons, those drivers onto the feature event. Gasper, Carey, and Simmons, they're heading on to your 5-star body semi-feature. Absolutely moving in that one. The driver to Vion, California gets the win. The NOS Energy Drink, Kimby Logistics, Top Industries, G&G Racing Fuels, Amsoil, number 4. Race fans, give him a hand. Justin Grant. Ricky Lewis in 2nd. Logan Calderwood in 3rd. Mitchell Moles in 4th. Max Adams and Cale Coons, those 6 drivers onto the feature event. Gasper, Carey, Simmons, they will find themselves in your 5-star bodies semi-feature. Gloves and helmet will come off, and Drake York going to talk with our heat race winner.
Justin Grant, the defending winner of the Hulman Classic, gets the win in K&N Filters Heat Race number 3. And Justin, you were the only guy on the high side of turns 1 and 2, and you made some hay up there, to say the very least. What was working so well for you down in turns 1 and 2?
You can just carry so much speed in up there, and there's a lot of racetrack to catch you still. And this NOS Energy Drink, MPV Logistics, Top Industry number 4 is really good through that stuff. And yeah, just having fun there. It's boy, it's scary. It's a little bit scary, but there's not a whole lot cooler than being able to just leg a sprint car out around Terre, Haute. And I was doing my best to leg this one out there. I felt like I might have been quicker there than I was qualifying. It was pretty exciting, and hopefully we can drive up through there in the feature.
Justin Grant certainly more than legged this Top Motorsports number 4 around the high side of turn number 1 and 2 as he gets the win in K&N Filters Heat Race number 3, his 4th heat race win on the season.
Sprint car heat races in the books. With that, Dirt Car UMP Modifieds coming out for their heat race. We'll turn things over to Dr. Sullivan.
Just one heat race for the UMP Modifieds. They'll be on track in just a few minutes. 6 laps will be the distance. Their feature event tonight will be 12 laps. I want to welcome J.P. McHugh with us today. His first trip to the Terre Action Track. He'll be with us Saturday at 74th Annual National Association of Auto Racing Fan Clubs Breakfast, a tradition during the month of May. He always gives an award in honor of his father. That's good to have him with us here. Lineup looks this way on the pole, the 99 from Mayfield, Kentucky. That's Hunt Gossam. He'll be joined by the 34W, a winner here in April. That's James Walters from Brazil. Tyler Weiss calls Allendale, Illinois home. He's in the 50. He'll be joined by your neighbor right here in Terre Haute, Indiana, the legend, Kenny Carmichael Sr. in the 92. Row number 3, Johnny Nethery in the 7 machine for Palestine, Illinois. He'll be joined by Jason Cox. The 77 seat comes to us from Clinton, Indiana. Travis Harum, who spends a lot of time in super stocks. He's ran modified this year in Charleston, Illinois. He's in Terre Haute, Indiana. He's in the 6J with Justin Jones from Olney, Illinois in the 744. Gossam, Walters, Carmichael, and Jones for certain have been UMP modified winners in the 2026 season. So Walters won by a bunch last time we were here in the Cunda Farms entry. We mentioned earlier Gossam's been here before, winner this year at Red Hill and also at Lincoln. He's in the advanced Machine and Tool Spec Race Engines, Zach Bunning graphics entry. Tyler Weiss in the 50. In the Beatles Towing, Wright Steel, number 50. Carmichael's Exhaust, Scott's Custom Colors, 92 of Kenny Carmichael. Johnny Netherly, Illini Heating, his sponsor. Palestine, Illinois driver, Jason Cox Trucking in the 77C. Travis Harris in the 6J, and then Justin Jones in the 744. He's in the Fridge LP gas entry. 6 laps will be the distance. Again, we pointed out earlier that you say there's a chance. That's about where we're at with the possible Josh Burton Memorial on Friday night at Bloomington Speedway. Obviously, tomorrow night, Circle City Raceway is where the action is. Right in the Circle City. But if we got a miracle, we could go for a $10,000 win-win race to win at Bloomington. But a lot of rain down there, I think many of you know. And it got hit a little bit harder today as some of the rain stayed to the south here and barely missed the action track. Big weekend, those of you for in town for the running of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, we welcome you to the Hoosier State. At a racetrack that Mr. Hulman had a great deal to do with. And we're racing. Gossam in the 99 car down the back straightaway. Weiss in the 50. And I thought that was going to happen. So it's going to be 1 to go up the line. Again, 6 laps will be the distance. Of course, the action track will be one of the sites of Indiana Sprint Week. $10,000 to win for every show, $50,000 point fund for what is a truly classic event that has grown in stature. Good to have J.J. Yeley back with us tonight. He was part of that group. He was a Rookie of the Year with the United States Auto Club. But that invasion of drivers from the then SCRA, Richard Griffin, Corey Kruzman, Mike Kirby, Steve Osling, Rodney Argo. It was quite the clan that made their way and really made Sprint Week take off. Well, Gossam has a little catch up to do after taking the lead early in that first start. He's working the bottom in that 99 machine, pretty car. Weiss in the 50 gets a little bit sideways. But the winner the last time we were here, James Walters, is the man in command at the moment. Kenny Carmichael and Cox in a battle for the 4th position. .81 seconds. Difference right at the line as Gossam's trying to reel in Walters with Weiss. Those 3 cars really in a breakaway, and it looks like for the moment Jason Cox has settled his battle. But Kenny Carmichael not giving up. Gossam powers down into turn number 3. Gets a little sideways there in 3, so scrubs off a little bit of speed. But still digging hard, trying to run down your leader, James Walters, Brazil, Indiana driver. It was pretty tough sledding last time we were here in the early going, and then Walters just created several degrees of separation of the line. That's a good run right there for Gossam. See power down to the bottom, really working hard off of turn number 4 as the white flag comes out. So Walter's in command, and Hunt Gossam the only one that appears to have any shot at him. This battle between Cox and Carmichael has gone on for most of the event. Hunt makes a pretty good charge right down the bottom coming out of 4, but I don't think he's going to win the drag race to the line, and he won't. James Walters takes it. Hunt Gossam runs second. Tyler Weiss runs third. And we're going to continue this fun all the way to the end. And it looks like the veteran, Kenny Carmichael, working hard there, the 92 machine. So next time we see the modifieds, it will be for their feature event. Modifieds are done. Brian's going to pull a hamstring on the way up here, but he's going to make his way up top. So big weekend of racing. We hope Mother Nature continues to cooperate. Obviously, we'll see Kyle Cummins, a winner here at the Hurtabees, then won at Eldora Speedway. So he's been the master of the half mile the last couple of events for the United States Auto Club. But you saw the speed that Justin Grant used working the outside in that heat race. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Racetrack's in great shape. Again, big thanks to the track crew. Had to work very, very hard to get this place in shape, and they certainly did that. So, Brian, what do you think?
Track, like you said, in decent shape. Lineup's getting squared away. So here in the FloRacing broadcast, we're going to step away for a moment. We'll be back.
Whatever you drive, however you drive. AMSOIL specially engineers lubricants to maximize power, performance, and protection in your vehicles, so you can work hard and play hard with confidence. Order online at amsoil.com.
Indy Metal Finishing is a family-owned and operated business with 30 years of experience in the industry. Their mission is to support their customers with an exceptional level of quality and service. Conveniently located minutes from downtown Indianapolis, Indy Metal Finishing offers Type 2 and Type 3 anodizing chemical conversions, passivation, and electroless nickel services to motorsports, medical, military, aerospace, and manufacturing industries. Indy Metal Finishing is ISO certified and holds an FFL license. If you have any questions, please call Indy Metal Finishing today at 317-858-5353. Find them online at Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Indy Metal Finishing, or visit their website at indymetalfinishing.com.
We deliver award-winning service you can trust. From fast oil changes, our 21-point inspection, and a coffee bar with a smile, it's all done right every time. While you relax in our spacious lounge, we're making sure your car runs at its best. And with our signature Nitro Wash, your ride won't just run smooth, it'll shine like new. Drive safe, drive smart. Choose your local family-owned Lucas Oil Center.
Up for a challenge? How about this? Anything you can do, I can do faster. Okay, bro. I'm gnarlier than you. I get more sideways. I'm louder. Much louder!
P1 Australia Racing Components, sprint cars, midgets, and micros, specializing in engine heaters, oiled heat mats, stainless headers, and black titanium. World headquarters in Indianapolis and also serving New Zealand and Australia. P1 ships daily. Visit our website at p1australia.com. P1 Australia Racing Components. For pricing, info, and more, slide into our Facebook and Instagram.
Crashing, it hurts, right? The car owner usually pays to get the car fixed, but who pays for you to get fixed? Are you a race car driver that does not have coverage insurance? Steeda is your answer. Don't race another lap without being covered. Get info now at steeda.com or call 1-800-378-4608.
Your ride with True Brand Fuel Joules, the only time-release fuel treatment on the market. Fuel Joules cleans and lubricates while restoring power and performance, and its patented time-release formula increases fuel economy by up to 7%, saving you money at the pump, tank full after tank full. Plus, Fuel Joules races for a cause. We partner with the National Breast Cancer Foundation to fund life-saving early detection screenings for women in need. Visit TrueBrandProducts.com to get your bottle today.
Welcome back to the broadcast on FloRacing from the Tony Hulman Classic with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship, live from the Terre Haute Action Track. 5-star body semi-feature event next on the card.
Pretty good. About 3 minutes left on the clock.
Do we need someone to let the
He's coming.
He does.
Just enough room for push vehicles between you guys.
The new standard of sprint car body technology is here, engineered with optimized airflow for maximum downforce and increased horsepower, and is available in multiple high-performance material options so every team can build the right body package for their program. Shop now at 5starbodies.com. 11 drivers scheduled to be in your 5-star body semi-feature event. 12 laps the distance. The front row comprises of the 2 quickest qualifying drivers, not racing directly into the feature event through heat race competition. That'll put David Gasper out of Santa Barbara, California, the Simply Birdhouse Freeland Powered DRC number 77S on the pole. Outside of him is going to be Jaden Rogers of Worthington, Indiana, the Beasley's Railcar Repair Spec DRC chassis number 14. Jack Hoyer out of Frankfort, Indiana, the Intact Management Group. Hoyer Chevrolet DRC number 11 going to go from 3rd. From 4th is going to be Harley Burns out of Brazil, Indiana, the Brit Aero Timberland Lumber Company 16 Chevrolet DRC number 16. Next row from the inside, Charles Davis Jr. out of Buckeye, Arizona, the MP Environmental Stanton DRC AME Electrical number 47. And for the 6th starting spot, it will be Troy Carey out of Tullamore, New South Wales, Australia, the Skyline Building Claxton Ripper, Yoss Valley Waste Services number 45 in. Driver in 28 at a Terre Haute is the Whitman Roofing TCB Speed North Gressman DRC number 28. That is going to be Brandon Maddox. He'll go from 7th. From 8th, Adam Taylor to Wheatfield, Indiana, the Horizon Carpentry Incorporated, Spankins Motorsports, Mongo Crane, Kirchner Powered number 18. Jake Simmons at a new Palestine, Indiana, the DRC J&D Performance number 7S. He'll go from 9th. From 10th, that will be the 97 of Austin 9 at Greenfield, Indiana. The Billy's Tequila Intellisense, the Brigade Shooting Company number 97. Final starter set to be Carl Rubottom out of Brazil, Indiana. In the shop, Meyer, Rubottom Chevrolet, Max of Chassis, Mac Diesel Service, Levitt Construction number 83. That'll be your scheduled lineup again for your 5-star body semi-feature event. 12 laps, 6 drivers going to move on into your Tony Hulman Classic A feature event. Again, tomorrow racing action continues up in Indianapolis at the Circle City Raceway. Hoosier 100 delayed by Mother Nature. That will now be on June 25th. So that means the next event for the United States Auto Club, once we get through tomorrow, is going to be the Avante Windows and Doors Corn Belt Clash at Knoxville Raceway in Knoxville, Iowa. Happening on May 29th and 30th. Tickets on sale at KnoxvilleRaceway.com. Red Hill Raceway for 2 nights to kick off the month of June. Then it's Worldwide Technology Raceway, the Outfront Route 66 Classic, presented by Welsh Heating and Cooling. And again, that is a part of the Sunday ticket that includes the NTT IndyCar Series in the Bommarito 500. So make sure and make plans to attend that. Indiana Midget Week kicks off on Tuesday, June 9th at Circle City, then Paragon, Lincoln Park, Bloomington, Tri-State, and Kokomo on Sunday, June 14th. Monday, we travel, and we kick off Eastern Storm, brought to you by Yokohama Tire, as we head up to Grandview for the Jesse Hockett Classic to kick off Eastern Storm. Of course, Yokohama also the presenting sponsor for Winter Dirt Games this season. We went down to Florida. And because of their support, we're able to offer bigger and better point funds for these series of races. This year, the Eastern Storm with a $24,000 point fund. And Yokohama doesn't just make tires, they make history. They've been dedicated to advancing tire design and development since 1917. Check out YokohamaTire.com for more information. Yokohama, the title sponsor of USAC Eastern Storm, June 16th through the 21st. Of course, if you can't be there live, all the racing action right here on FloRacing, the official live online broadcast provider of all 3 National Touring Series of the United States Auto Club. And with FloRacing, all a part of the Flo Sports Network, it's more than just racing. Wrestling, got it. Baseball, have it. Basketball, you know it. Rodeo, they even have that. And, of course, not just USAC competition, the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, All-Star Circuit of Champions, weekly racing action at Eldora Speedway, and more. Again, you can find it all with Flo Sports. Caution lights go dark. Toyota Racing Development pace truck will begin to make its way away from the field and down into the infield. Again, Gasper in the 77. Rogers in the 14, make up row number 1. Hoyer, then Burns in row number 2. Davis, then Carey in row number 3. Maddox, then Taylor in row number 4. Simmons, then Nye in row number 5. And Rubottom by himself in row number 6. Field set to go to green. Side-by-side nose to tail through the NOS Energy start can at the exit of turn at number 4. Slowly round to the exit of the 4th turn. We're underway. We're going to take off with the early advantage. A charge coming to the outside for the 14 of Jaden Rogers, though. That run going to stall out just a little bit as they work onto the back straightaway. Challenge for 3rd in the meantime. Burns in the 16. Holds off the charge of Jack Hoyer. Now here comes Charles Davis Jr. in the 5th spot, looking for 4th here on the front straightaway. At the line, it's going to be Hoyer, then Davis, then Brandon Maddox right now with the final transfer spot. The 45 in, trying to fight to his outside. Missteps just a little bit, going to lose ground onto the far side of the speedway. In the meantime, Hoyer and Charles Davis Jr. duking it out right now for the 4th position. Charles Davis going to work to the high side in the 47, trying to get a run around to the front straightaway. Is up front. It is David Gasper leading. Jaden Rogers still running in 2nd. Harley Burns running in 3rd. Jack Hoyer trying to hold on to 4th. And Charles Davis again lurking at both sides of that number 11. He's going to have a run onto the back straightaway. This time he's going to clear as they make their way into turns 3 and 4. Charles Davis going to take over the 4th spot. Jack Hoyer back to 5th. Brandon Maddox for the time being holds on to the final transfer spot, but he has still got Troy Carey absolutely breathing down his neck. 45 in has taken a couple of looks to the inside. He's taken a couple of shots to the outside. He's going to look to the inside once again, this time through turns 1 and 2. Him and Adam Taylor going at it right now for that 7th spot as Maddox finally able to get a little bit of breathing room now. Nye, Simmons, and Rubottom currently rounding out your running order as Maddox holds on to that final transfer spot. Charles Davis Jr. in the meantime trying to reel in Harley Burns. He has. He's going to look down to the inside. That'll be the fight for the 3rd position. Harley Burns with a better exit at turn number 2, able to fend off the charge of the wily veteran here as they make their way into turns 3 and 4. Charles Davis on entry, able to close back up, sticks it low all the way around to the exit to number 4. Harley Burns holds on to the advantage in the Ace Corp number 16. Jaden Rogers still running in 2nd, but David Gasper so far in command of this one. 77S with a good launch at the drop of the green flag, able to lead the charge into turns 1 and 2, and so far he has not let up. He'll come around to the midpoint. 6 in, 6 to go for the Tyler Sturgeon Racing Simply Birdhouse Freeland DRC chassis number 77. Final transfer spot up for grabs. Yes, Adam Taylor at the line by 0.152 seconds. Gets around Brandon Maddox. Taylor in the 8 from 8th. Maddox started 7th. So Taylor, mentioned earlier, last time we saw him in USAC National Competition, had a 604 crate engine beneath the bonnet of the number 8T. This week coming to play with a Kirchner 410, the 2025 Wisconsin wingless champion, trying to race his way into the show here. Charles Davis Jr. in the meantime has taken over the 3rd spot from Harley Burns. Burns back to 4th. Hoyer, Taylor. Outside looking in right now is Maddox, Nye, Carey, Simmons, and Rubottom. Charles Davis not done, trying to reel in Jaden Rogers as we work into the closing laps. 9 completed, 3 to go. Davis trailing Jaden by a little over 2 seconds. Roger trailing Gasper by 2.1 seconds. Harley Burns in a distant 4th. Hoyer still running in 5th. Adam Taylor, a couple laps ago, taking over that transfer spot. He'll start to close in on the 11 of Jack Hoyer here and see if he can get some insurance. Both drivers working the top side into turns 1 and 2. The 8 getting the right rear just a little bit higher up into the fluff. Brings it back down to the racing groove as they charge onto the back straightaway. Both drivers in the show, but the 8T trying to get one more as they come to the wave of the white flag and 1 to go. David Gasper dispensing quickly with a slower car into turns 1 and 2. Makes his way onto the far side of the Terre Haute action track. He'll find turns 3 and 4 one last time. And the driver to Santa Barbara, California, going to race his way into the show. The Simply Birdhouse 77S winner in 5-star body semi-feature competition. Jaden Rogers going to cross in 2nd, 3rd. Going to Charles Davis Jr., 4th to Harley Burns. 5th will go to Jack Hoyer and Adam Taylor. Unofficially with the final transfer spot into the feature event, Maddox, Nye, Carey, Simmons, and Rubottom. Unofficially rounding out your field. So the drivers moving on. Final transfer spot to Adam Taylor, 5th to Jack Hoyer, 4th to Harley Burns, 3rd to Charles Davis Jr., 2nd to Jaden Rogers. And your winners out of Santa Barbara, California, drive the Simply Birdhouse Freeland DRC Sturgeon Race number 77. Give him a hand, David Gasper. So David Gasper picking up the win in your 5-star bodies semi-feature event. That will set the field for tonight's Tony Hulman Classic. Before we get to that, we'll have a quick presentation down here just in front of the tower. Dr. Sullivan going to make his way down, and he's going to have a chat with our Grand Marshal this evening.
Check 1, 2, 3. Well, folks, we're delighted to have this gentleman with us as our Grand Marshal. We've got no actual intelligence that he's been behind the back straightaway trying to get a ride from one of these guys back here at the Wabash Valley drag strip. But what we do know is this, is that he's one of the best in the business. In the NHRA, we know that. The championships, the U.S. Nationals say that. But he's also a former USAC National Sprint Car driver, and he's a winner of this event back in 1996. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a great Terre Haute welcome to the great Doug Coletta. It is great to see you in an oval track.
Yeah, no, this place has got a ton of history. You know, and it's such an opportunity really to come back out here. You know, you fans here are, you know, very dedicated to USAC, which, you know, JR is up here with me, and we're always watching Flo. So, you know, it's just great to be able to come out and watch one of these things. You know, back in the day, I had Rick Ferkel as my crew chief, and, you know, and he was one of the best sprint car racers going, and loved this place. So it's really an honor to be able to come back out and just kind of hang out and be the Grand Marshal tonight. So it's appreciate the opportunity.
You took one of my questions, and I'm glad you did, because time goes on, and I don't know if people understand how great Rick Ferkel was. He was really an outlaw before the Outlaws. He had a ton of knowledge, and he'd helped a lot of drivers, and that continued with people like Christopher Bell. He was on the wrenches that night, and I can only imagine what it was like to have that fund of knowledge behind your effort.
Yeah, no, like you say, I mean, the 00, everybody knew it, and he was one of the original Outlaws. Helped a lot of sprint car drivers, and that was his passion. I mean, he had a car, and he was just looking for drivers, and, obviously Christopher Bell was one of them, and, and for me to have him as my crew chief, was really a dream come true back in the day.
Now, I first personally saw you in a sprint car and a midget at Winchester, where you just absolutely scared what little hair I have off of my head. You were fearless on the high banks. What was it about those places that you seemed to sync up so well with?
Yeah, it was just fast. I mean, and I had, some really good cars. Obviously Rick was my crew chief, and Don Schilling, who built a lot of the cars. Back in the day, actually, I was telling the guys that I'm here with, I mean, Don was coming out of 2, and I think he flipped this midget just about all the way down the backstretch. His eyes were just as black as they could get, but he was a hell of a fabricator. So I had some really good pavement cars, and I actually did a little better on the pavement than the dirt. So, but it's just great to see the series doing what it's doing. With all the dirt races that's going on, and yeah, I mean, the fans are supporting this thing, and it's just awesome to see what's going on.
Doug, obviously Doug Coletta joins us, our Grand Marshal, and Doug, you come onto the scene. Your name's not Smith, it's not Jones, it's Coletta. And we all knew that name. And, of course, the first thing we thought was, he's going around in a circle. So how did that start? How did you sort of get into this world?
Yeah, through Don Schilling. But the one thing, Rich Vogler, back in the day, him and Don were running this pavement stuff. And Rich usually got the best of Don. And he'd bring that car back to the shop, and I wasn't driving really anything, but I was, I was a mechanic. I welded a lot, and actually Don would bring this thing back, and I would spend hours fixing it. So as a result of that, I think they felt sorry for me, because they said, we got to give you something to drive, because you've spent so much time helping beat these things back together. But yeah, Don was a fearless individual, and to be able to run with Rich Vogler back in the day, I think you had to be.
So, you said it, Doug. I mean, those that were there had come to the conclusion, and it may have been unfair, that, you're a pavement guy. And the Hulman Classic is the classic USAC event. It is the oldest event with history. It's the most prestigious dirt race in the USAC sprint car inventory. And you won it. And when you won it, did you have the realization that some went, huh? I thought he was just a hardtop guy.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were probably wondering what the heck just happened. But, yeah, it was a proud moment for me and my team. And, Connie Coletta, who's supported me over all these years, being the drag racer, he's out there letting me run USAC sprints and whatnot. But back in those days, there was no seats, to drag race. And, I took advantage of the opportunity running USAC. And I have to admit, though, to win here was just the highlight of my whole deal, because like I say, I didn't win a lot of dirt races, but this was the crown. I rolled in here hoping, like I always did, that I'd have an opportunity to win, and it was a cool day for sure.
Cool day for sure. And obviously you ran with some great drivers in your particular era. You make your way obviously into NHRA, and you've won a lot of races. So you and I both know you've won a lot of races, but you've had some of your best years in recent times. I mean, you've bagged a couple of championships in the last couple of years. Is it just that things all came together point-wise for that? Did the luck fall your way? You just feel more verve? What's happening?
Yeah, no, I was, I think I had mentioned you just got to stay with it. I'm like type of guy that you just don't give up on winning a championship, and I was second like a number of times. It just seemed like it was just going to be a hard goal to happen, but if you assemble the right people, and really, I mean, with Connie, obviously drag racing all these years, and my current crew chief, Alan Johnson, he is known for getting championships.
Oh yeah, great, one of the best ever tuners.
He's won a lot of different championships, a lot of these races, and Chad Head, who runs our operation, has really assembled with all three of our cars one hell of a team. We've got JR Todd here with us tonight, and he drives our DHL funny car, and he loves all this sprint car racing, and let me tell you, he is one badass funny car driver. So, we're just here enjoying what we got going on here tonight, and it's just great to really see what's going on here.
Now, I took a peek. If I'm right, I think you're second in the top fuel standings right now. Won the 4-wide nationals already this year. You've already been into victory lane, so you're building on a pretty good season, backing up that last year's campaign.
Yeah, no, we're looking good. Qualified first in Chicago last weekend, and I ended up running my teammate second round. We just smoked the tires. It was one of them deals that, just kind of happens in drag racing, but our cars are running good. So it's just the last 6 races is the countdown, so you got to be ready for that, and that's where we seem to shine. And Alan Johnson, like I say, he's the best in the business, and it's one hell of an opportunity.
Again, I watched you rocking around Winchester and places like that. I watched you on this big half mile, which to me is close between exhilarating and terrifying. But compare and contrast, mashing the throttle coming down this front straightaway, rocketing around the high banks of Winchester, and pushing the button on a top fuel dragster. What's the difference in similarities?
Yeah, this place, I think Rachel, who's one of the managers with our race team, she's watching these cars come out of the turns and the front ends up, and I think she's still trying to figure out how these guys can drive these things off the turns. But yeah, there's nothing like a sprint car coming off either one of these turns at Terre, Haute, and these guys are doing one hell of a job. But my car, the top fuel car, I mean, you got to make sure you line that baby up straight because it leaves hard, and you're just kind of guiding that thing, and you don't want to be chasing it. So, but yeah, our cars now are going over 340 mile an hour in a 1,000-foot distance pretty regularly. So it's one hell of a ride, and it's the competition that I've always enjoyed, and just being out there with your friends, trying to one up each other, just sort of like out here, everybody's friends, and at the end of the day, we just want to come out, put a whooping on your buddy, and then you have a beer with them later. So it's kind of the same environment, and with NHRA, you're really not bumping into one another either. So you probably have more friends at NHRA than you do out here, slide jobbing one another. But yeah, it's been so far a pretty good night with nobody getting too banged up.
Maynard Yanks was a guy who was an outstanding sprint car racer in Pennsylvania and then a crew chief in the funny car world. What could you take from the two worlds? How do the two worlds at all sort of operate together?
Just really, for me, it's just surrounding yourself with good equipment, or obviously good people and good equipment. And I think you'll see that, it's like buddy of mine, Jeff Walker, back in the pit area. I mean, he's been out here forever, and I was telling my guys here, I mean, he's always had the nicest stuff. I mean, it's always the cleanest, and but then, it just isn't all about that out here. I mean, you've got to be, brave. I mean, Robert Blue is one of my guys that I always like watching because he is always on the gas, making it happen. And but no, it's something I really enjoyed having the opportunity to do early in my racing career, and I'm not sure. I'd have to totally be retrained, I think, to be out here again today with these guys. But it would be fun to hot lap something for sure.
Well, I'm sure we can make that happen, folks. I'll tell you something. We've had drivers who have run the U.S. Nationals and Indianapolis and run Daytona. We've had drivers do that. We know one of them's one of your competitors right now. But here's the interesting thing. The class of one The class of one is a guy who's won the U.S. Nationals and the Hulman Classic. And that class of one is occupied by this guy, our Grand Marshal. Let's hear it one more time for the great Doug Coletta. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, very good.
Attention in the stands, Connor Matson. Connor Matson, you are tonight's AMSOIL Inside the Oval winner. You and a guest get to ride in the pace truck to start tonight's feature event. Make your way down to the USAC merchandise trailer and check in immediately. Again, Connor Matson, you are tonight's AMSOIL Inside the Oval winner. Also in the infield, if you are missing a cell phone, one has been turned in up here in the press box. You can come up here. If you can unlock it, we will be glad to give it back to you. But if you are missing your cell phone, one has been turned in here in the press box in the infield. So with that, we do have our 50-50 drawing coming up here. And I believe we're also drawing for the rifle. There was a raffle that went on there, so we'll be drawing for that. Which one are we drawing for first?
We will draw 50-50 first.
So 50-50 is first. Do we make Dr. Sullivan draw it?
Yeah, I think that sounds great.
That sounds great.
I promise
You got to get it way up. He can't be peeking.
There we go.
All right, 50-50 blue ticket, 001957. 001957. That is also going out on the Terre Haute Action Track Facebook page.
The winner gets
$630 is what you're going to get. Where do they need to go to claim that?
To the ticket office.
Go to the ticket office. And now this is for the rifle. And we'll have some other information that they'll give to you whenever they get that. It is an orange ticket. Again, this is for the rifle. 104028. 104028. Again, that is the raffle ticket for the rifle. Again, ticket office as well on that.
Actually, no. If the gun winner could come down to the winner's circle for the driver to sign and paperwork at the end of the feature.
So you're not going to go to the ticket office. You're going to come down to Victory Lane. Following the night's feature event, the winner is going to sign the rifle, and there's some other paperwork that you need to handle. So, again, if you have that winning ticket number for the rifle, you're going to meet them down in Victory Lane. They're going to present it to you. Driver's going to sign it, and, again, there's some other paperwork. So, congratulations. If you won the 50-50, again, take that ticket down to the ticket office, and that 50-50, make sure you have your ticket on you when you come down to Victory Lane. How much longer, Jake?
I'm close.
Modified's next, I believe.
Modified are next. Checking with Rich.
Dirt Car UMP Modified's next on the program. In the meantime, here on the FloRacing broadcast, as we wait cars to make their way out, we're going to step away. We'll be back to Terre Haute.
Whatever you drive, however you drive. AMSOIL specially engineers lubricants to maximize power, performance, and protection in your vehicles, so you can work hard and play hard with confidence. Order online at amsoil.com.
Welcome back to the broadcast here on FloRacing. Dirt Car UMP Modifieds rolling out for their feature event.
Job, Pat. Thank you.
Thank you. Was okay. I was looking for your sign.
A dozen laps coming up for the Modifieds.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
That was nice.
That's all right.
Cars will make their way out, and Dr. Sullivan will have the call.
Thank you very much, Brian. Feature event looks this way. On the pole position, the 34W from Brazil, Indiana. That's James Walters. Alongside the 99, that's Hunt Gossip from Mayfield, Kentucky. Allendale, Illinois' Tyler Weiss is in that pretty number 50. He's joined by the veteran from Terre Haute, Indiana, the 92 of Kenny Carmichael Sr. Jason Cox calls Clinton, Indiana home. He pilots the 77C. He'll be joined by the 6J Big Travis Harem from Terre Haute, Indiana. Johnny Nethery from Palestine, Illinois, is in the 7 machine with Justin Jones in the 744. He's from Olney, Illinois. All right, folks, let me tell you, we're on flow. This is a big night for these drivers. Let's pay them off. Let's give them a little bit of love. They work hard in their shop. They work hard to go racing, and they're here for you. Ladies and gentlemen, come on, let's salute them. These are the UMP Modifieds here at the famed Terre Haute Action Track. Guy off of turn number 3. After a day where the sky was not pretty for most of it. Thanks to all the safety personnel, push truck drivers, staff of the concession, everyone who makes an effort to put these races on at this historic track. First race back in 1952. Frank Lupto, the fast qualifier. Joey James, the winner. Here we go. Walters and Gossip side by side, lurching, maybe some contact. Allows Weiss to slip up. And Kenny Carmichael Sr. trying to make something happen in the 92. Weiss jumped to the outside, Gossip digging the bottom as he did in his heat race. Weiss tries to dam it off the turn. Gossip digging hard. Walters, your winner here in April. Gossip pushes that a little bit at turn number 2. Weiss stands on the throttle down, heads into turn number 3. Walters trying to go 2 for 2 with the action track. Weiss in the 50 car. Little bobble there for Gossip. Weiss gets on the pedal. Drag race down the back straightaway. Weiss is going to try to get Gossip on his hip. Hunt's a little too tough right there. We'll see if we can get that car. Good work getting into the infield. Walters out front. Walters dominating like he did back in April, but Gossip still has him in view. Last time by it was a 1.18 advantage, and it stays about right there as Weiss ventures up the racetrack a little bit. Kenny Carmichael Sr. is the Maytag repairman now, loneliest man in town, running in the 4th position. Gossip tries to switch the lineup a little bit as Walters, Brazil, Indiana driver, heads down the back straightaway. We'll look for the cross flags next time by. Eyes on the flag stand. And indeed, we are halfway down. Looks like Nethery is pulled into the infield. Weiss still running in the 3rd position. Weiss has dug hard in that 3rd spot, not able to gain ground on Gossip. Let's see if Gossip's been able to slice into the advantage as the sand runs through the hourglass. Yes, some, but not enough. Let's cut it down to 1.5. So the Mayfield, Kentucky driver digging hard to try to catch the driver from Brazil, Indiana. Walters sideways through turn number 4. Taxes the power plants of these modified. Skinny tires, lots of horsepower. Hard to drive, you have to stay up on the wheel. Walter slides across the line. Should be 2 to go next time by, unofficially. Little bit of traffic for the 34 to deal with. And that allows him to slice a little bit, that big Hunt Gossam. Oh, this could be the break the Gossam needs, but he's got to pedal hard. Walter slides to the outside. He'll head down the long straightaway. Indication right there. White flag, 1 to go. Hey, Hunt Gossam goes to the whip. Down to the inside. Tries to spurt down the back straightaway. Gossam made a lunge there in turn number 1, comes up short because he got one more bullet in the chamber. Rockets on the bottom through turn number 3, headed to 4. Walters on the pedal, and Walters will go back to back at the action track. James Walters takes it, Hunt Gossam. Tyler Weiss and Kenny Carmichael Sr. Anytime you can win at the Terre action track, it is a very good day. And I think our winner has come to a stop between 3 and 4. Well, there's a story. So he went like fire when it mattered. And when it was time to get to victory lane, he's going to need a little help. All right, we're going to try to get your winner in. Let's start the celebration early for him as he gets pushed around. We don't know if this is the case. She goes best just before she blows. It's fuel or something minor, but what we do know is he's the winner. Come on, we can do it. All righty. So here we go. It took us a while to get him here. Didn't take him long to get the victory. But James Walters gets it done. We'll sit at trackside. Let's hear it for him. James Walter.
James Walter going to all laps of this race tonight. But first of all, a great race. But what exactly happened over in turn 4?
Well, we lost the motor going into 1 after we took the checkered. But first and foremost, I got to apologize to Hunt Gossam. We bailed it off into turn 1 with him, and he was going to give me everything we had, and I was going to give him everything we had too. And we drove in hard on the right front, and we hit that mud, and we hit pretty hard there in 1 and 2. I appreciate him not trying to retaliate or something. It wasn't intentional, and I apologize to him. Skyler and Donnie, I got to thank them guys for coming out to help. I know my dad's watching. This is the first race I've ever been to without him, and he's on vacation with my mom. And he was tore up when I decided to come, but I'm sure they're smiling right now.
James Walters wins tonight's feature, going green, white, and checkered, all 12 laps.
Whatever you drive, however you drive. AMSOIL specially engineers lubricants to maximize power, performance, and protection in your vehicles, so you can work hard and play hard with confidence. Order online at amsoil.com.
The new Dirt Draft app, faster, sharper, built to win. New lock windows and predictive contests. More ways to play, more ways to win. Lock in your drivers, watch the action, and become a fantasy champion. Every lap, every restart, every last lap slide job that moves you up the leaderboard. The green flag just dropped on the all-new Dirt Draft. Download it now at dirtdraft.com. Draft your team and get in the race.
Something has awakened. The horsepower and torque you always knew was there, just waiting to make every drive thrilling. Track tested, off-road proven, performance for everything you drive. Drive better with K&N.
Hey, can I get 4 guavas? No, the big ones. Thanks.
Ignite your taste with new NOS Energy Grand Prix Guava. Buy it now at a store near you.
Hey, are you caught in the tariff trap, rising costs, and unpredictable delays? Well, it's time to reshore, reclaim, and reinvent with Parallax Group Incorporated. With over 30 years of expertise, we deliver high-quality assembly and manufacturing solutions right here in North America. Our strategically located facility near the U.S. border ensures faster distribution and reduced logistics costs. Experience efficiency, control, and excellence in every product. Parallax Group Incorporated, quality assembly processes in North America.
P1 Australia Racing Components, sprint cars, midgets, and micros, specializing in engine heaters, oil heat mats, stainless headers, and black titanium. World headquarters in Indianapolis and also serving New Zealand and Australia. P1 ships daily. Visit our website at p1australia.com. P1 Australia Racing Components. For pricing, info, and more, slide into our Facebook and Instagram.
Race Aid supports USAC racers and their families in times of need.
Your generosity fuels our recovery.
Your donations help us get back on track.
And scan the QR code to donate today.
Donate today.
Crashing, it hurts, right? The car owner usually pays to get the car fixed, but who pays for you to get fixed? Are you a race car driver that does not have coverage insurance? Steeda is your answer. Don't race another lap without being covered. Get info now at steeda.com or call 1-800-378-4608.
Power up your ride with True Brand Fuel Jewels, the only time-release fuel treatment on the market. Fuel Jewels cleans and lubricates while restoring power and performance, and its patented time-release formula increases fuel economy by up to 7%, saving you money at the pump, tank full after tank full. Plus, Fuel Jewels races for a cause. We partner with the National Breast Cancer Foundation to fund life-saving early detection screenings for women in need. Visit TrueBrandProducts.com to get your bottle today.
Welcome back to the broadcast here on FloRacing, coming to you from the Tony Hulman Classic at the Terre Haute Action Track with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. Semi-feature event in the books, the modified feature in the books. We are down to tonight's 30-lap championship feature event. The horn has sounded in the pits for the teams to begin making their way into the staging lanes and present for tonight's A feature. Don't forget, tomorrow we're back in action just up the road at Circle City. Unfortunately, Friday's planned Hoosier 100 squashed by Mother Nature. That event has been pushed to June 25th. But the salute to the Circle City tomorrow, $10,000 on the line. And it's presented by Des Nuda Organic Tequila. That is tomorrow up at Circle City, just on the southeast corner of Indianapolis. So push vehicles doing a couple of quick laps here, a little bit of track prep taking place before the start of tonight's feature event. With that, ladies and gentlemen, it is round 14 of the 2026 season, a $10,000 check awaiting the winner of tonight's feature event. Your lineup here at Terre Haute, set to roll to the green like this. Going from the pole tonight, he comes to you out of Raisin City, California. Driver the AME Electrical Massive LA Transportation, Reinbold Development Incorporated, Indy Race Parts number 19 AZ. It'll be Mitchell Moles. Outside row number 1, he is out of Rockland, California. Driver the Suburban Subaru, Dean's Waterfront Services, Donna DRC. Number 12, the Madman, Robert Ballou. Second row for the inside out of Anaheim, California. Driver the Inland Rigging, Darty Motorsports. Naked Enterprises, Rolls Scaffolding. Apache Transport, Damien Swanson, number 5T. That will be Jake Swanson. And next to him, out of Ione, California, the defending winner of the Hulman Classic. Driver the NOS Energy Drink, MPV Logistics, Top Industries, G&G Racing Fuels, AMSOIL. Number 4, Justin Grant. Chase Stockton goes from the 5th starting spot. The England Machine and Tool, Kistler DRC, number 92, out of Fort Branch, Indiana. And outside of him, your current USAC National Points leader. Out of Princeton, Indiana, the Avante Windows and Doors, Jugo Superfoods, Stanton Mach 1 Lifestyle Homes, Petty Performance number 3P of Kyle Cummins. Next row from the inside, it's going to be your Iron Man, CJ Larry to Greenfield, Indiana, the Jarvis Enterprises, Foxco DRC, Bachelor Motorsports, Braden Fox Racing number 53. And from the 8th starting spot in 19, out of Gilbert, Arizona, the AME Electrical, Reinbold Development Incorporated, Jugo Superfoods entry of Hayden Reinbold. Kevin Thomas Jr., he'll roll from 9th to 9th. He's out of Coleman, Alabama. The Majestic Electric, Rock City Racing, Bird Racing, Inland Rigging number 3R. And next to him, Briggs Danner out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. The Snyder & Sons Recycling, Keystone Cap, Boulevard Truck Repair, DRC Rider Powered, number 39. 11 starters out of Phoenix, Arizona. The Eclipse Claim Consulting, MPV Express, Yeley Transportation, Fisher Ripper number 51 is going to be J.J. Yeley. And next to him, he's out of Oxnard, California. The Superior Tank and Trailer, Physical Medicine Consultants, Massive LA Transportation, DRC number 41 of Ricky Lewis. 7th row inside line, winner of this event in 2024, the Mount Mechanical Contractor, Stanton DRC number 57 is going to be Logan Seavey. And next to him, Logan Calderwood is out of Goodyear, Arizona, the MP Environmental GFT Ready Mix One-Way Triple X Chassis number 6. 8th row inside line, it's tall, Trey Osborne out of Columbus, Ohio, the Industrial Hydraulics Incorporated Mopar Triple X, Beachwold Automotive number 6T. And rounding out your top 16 starters, it's going to be out of Bedford, Indiana, Hunter Maddox of TJD Roofing and Exteriors, Megacorp Logistics, Cummings Power, DRC, at Tony Kinzer Body Shop, number 24M. Max Adams out of Loomis, California. He'll roll from the inside of row number 9 in the Barn System Incorporated. Dwight Cheney owned CCR Sports, FieldCoUSA.com, number 42. And next to him, it's going to be Cale Coons out of Greencastle, Indiana, the Curb Records, Coletta Charters, Neil Tire, Racing Optics, FK Rod, and Joe Dooling, Kerbagajanian, number 63. Inside row number 10, 19th starting spot, David Gasper out of Santa Barbara, California, the Simply Birdhouse, Freeland, DRC number 77S. Next to him, Jaden Rogers out of Worthington, Indiana, the Beasley's Railcar Repair, American Dream Racing, Spec, DRC number 14. Charles Davis Jr. from 21st out of Buckeye, Arizona, the MP Environmental, Black Magic Beat Breaker, the Race Shack, Getting Race Parts, Central Arizona Raceway number 47. And outside of him, Harley Burns out of Brazil, Indiana, the Brit Arrow, Timberland Lumber Company, 16 Chevrolet DRC, DGH Electric number 16. 23rd starting spot belongs to Jack Hoyer out of Frankfort, Indiana, the Intact Management Group, Hoyer Chevrolet DRC. Ruoff Mortgage number 11. And your final starter is set to be Adam Taylor to Wheatfield, Indiana, the Horizon Carpentry Incorporated, Mongo Cranes, Bankins Motorsports, Kircher, Triple X number 8T. As that'll be a scheduled lineup for the 56th running of the Hulman Classic here at the Terre Haute Action Track. Drivers staged, presented, and ready to fire. And Drake, you got one to watch.
I certainly do have one to watch, but before we get into our Dirt Draft one to watch, reminder to the race fans, not only here at the track, but watching at home around the world on FloRacing, there still is time to play in a Dirt Draft lobby. That's the rookie lobby, but you gotta hurry because that lobby locks when the green flag flies in the air here for the 56th Tony Hulman Classic. Now onto our Dirt Draft one to watch. He's rolling from the outside of the second row. That is JJ Justin Grant, the Top Motorsports number 4. Got off to a really good start earlier today in Learn Lab qualifying, a really strong effort in the 3rd position. Of course, that's important for that top 6 invert for the feature event. All he had to do was finish in a transfer spot in his heat race. He would do more than that, however, as he would drive from 6th to the win, and it wasn't just a calm, cruisy drive on a weeknight here in Terre Haute, Indiana for Justin. That was some old school, pound the curb, go where the other cars aren't, all out racing from days of yore that made the Terre Haute Action Track what it was. As I said, a very old school drive, and boy was it entertaining to watch here at the racetrack. And let's not forget, Justin Grant comes into the Hulman Classic this year as the defending winner, as he got the rifle last year, which is crazy to think about. That was his only win to date in the Hulman Classic, as his rookie season in this race was all the way back in 2010. And a good little bit of history on the line for Justin Grant here coming into tonight. He has 4 wins here, a 5th with time for 3rd on the all-time USAC Terre Haute win list with Jim Hurtubise, Levi Jones, John Stambro, and Rich Vogler. So Justin Grant has already proven that he can be an elite company when it comes to the record books with the all-time greats of USAC National Sprint Car Championship Racing. He's trying to join a few more here, as I said, trying to tie those legendary drivers for 3rd on the USAC Sprint Car win list here at the Action Track. He rolls from 4th.
Thank you very much. A little bit of moisture laid down on the bottom side of the speedway. Drivers getting instruction over the receiver to go down and check that out. Don't forget, the next time you come to a USAC National event, you can listen to all of the FloRacing audio when you bring a scanner. Of course, you can contact Racing Electronics for all of your two-way radio and scanner needs. Frequency 454.5000. Learn more and shop today at racingelectronics.com. Mitchell Moles, the 19 AZ, best run in this event, 2024. Walked away with a 4th place finish, his best event overall here at Terre Haute, a 2nd in April during the Hurtubise. Goes from the pole position. Robert Ballou, a 3-time winner of the Hulman Classic, his last victory in 2022, his 19th Hulman start here tonight. Unfortunately, last year out with an injury, his last start here in 8th in 2024. The 5T inside of row number 2, Jake Swanson at Anaheim, California. 6-time starter, now 7-time starter here in the Tony Hulman Classic. He's run 5th in 2025. His best run in this event, and his best run here at Terre Haute, a 2nd in 2024. Of course, Justin Grant, winner of this event last year, initially delayed by Mother Nature. It actually looked like we were good to go. Unfortunately, so much moisture, the track just kept peeling up, would not lay back down. So it got moved into October. He was able to finally pick up a rifle, his 4th career victory here at Terre Haute. And tonight his 16th attempt in the Hulman Classic, coming in off of a 3rd and a 6th place run last weekend during Let's Race 2 at Eldora. So Grant with a good bit of momentum, but the driver everybody is chasing so far. Just like last year, Kyle Cummins looking to back up his title. Best run in this event, a 4th in 2025. His best appearance here at Terre Haute, a 2nd in 2021 and 2023. Finally got a win here at Terre Haute in April during the Hurtubise. He comes in off of a win and a 2nd at Eldora last weekend, so he definitely has some momentum coming.
Well, he really does. On 2 big, fast half-mile racetracks, it was a big win for him here, also at Eldora. And obviously, we watched the heat race. We saw what Justin Grant did. But you brought up a guy who have really watched his trajectory, his development, and that's Mitchell Moles. He's fast. He's good. A 2nd-place run here. I don't think it'd shock any of us if he came away with the rifle tonight, Brian.
No, certainly not. As the field works onto the back straightaway, they'll begin to break rank from side by side to 4 wide. Ladies and gentlemen, our drivers, thank you for coming out to enjoy tonight's racing action. As they make their way into turns 3 and 4, race fans, light up them cell phones and rise to your feet. It's time to make some noise for the field going to come around. They're just about ready to go to green. Now, Drake, remember last week at Eldora, Robert was not happy with his car whatsoever. Tonight puts it on the outside of the front row. Madman looking a lot better here at Terre Haute than he did at Eldora, where he admitted he was struggling.
Yeah, he was none too pleased, even after winning a heat race at Eldora. But just like Eldora, I feel like no matter how good or bad Robert's season is going, headed into a race at the Terre Action Track, it always seems to right the ship. You look at his record, not only at this track, but in this race too. It's really good. And I look at Mitchell Moles, too, to the inside of him, Brian. Nearly won in his USAC National Sprint Car debut here at the Action Track a few years ago. A very potent front row, no question.
Indeed, thank you very much. As they make their way into turns 1 and 2, the caution lights have gone dark. Moles, Ballou, Swanson, Grant, Stockin, Cummins, Leary, Reinbold, KTJ, and Danner, your top 10 starters. They'll make their way towards turns 3 and 4 for the 56th time here in the Tony Hulman Classic. Race fans, it is time to sit back, relax, and enjoy 30 trips around the Terre Haute Action Track, because race fans, this is what you've saved your lunch money for. Your field of the NOS Energy Star Can into the green here at the Action Track. Mole's going to jump out to the early advantage. Ballou going to find someone at the top of the speedway. Holds on to second. Has to wait under just a little bit there at the exit to number 2. He's got 3 cars coming after him to the inside. Who's going to have the advantage on the second spot here as they come around on lap number 1. The top spot is Mitchell Moles. Second up for grabs. Swanson down to the bottom. Ballou fighting back on the outside. Robert's going to have it. They're nearly 3 wide to turns 1 and 2 again. Here comes Stockin in 92. Stockin, Sprint Week winner here at Terre Haute, trying to get back into victory lane, and he's got an incredible drive of the back straightaway, Pat.
Well, Chase Stockin, that arguably the biggest win in his career. Robert Ballou, though, he is banking on that outside line.
3-time winner of the of the Hulman, trying to find his way back up forward here. He's back to the 4th spot. Early in the runnings, Justin Grant trying to reel him in as he's going to find a good smooth line to the exit to number 2. That time not really having to wait on the car. We saw in the opening lap where he got the drive, but then the back of the car kind of raised up on him and had to set back down. So far, Robert able to get some speed back here. He's going to try to close in, see if he can get back into the 3rd spot as Stockin sits in 2nd. Everybody still chasing Mitchell Moles.
And there's Justin Grant trying to size up Robert Ballou. Now he goes down to the bottom, hits the pedal, and Grant takes that spot.
Grant, defending winner of the Hulman Classic, a 4-time winner in USAC National Sprint Car competition here at Terre Haute. 3 wins on the season, most recently with the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship during the Kokomo Grand Prix. Takes over that 4th spot now. Kevin Thomas Jr. in the 3, working the bottom side on Robert Ballou, trying to get him to the top 5 here. Ballou able to keep him at bay onto the far side of the speedway. Moles last time by his advantage, 1.270 seconds. Chase Stockin searching lines over in turns 3 and 4, trying to reel him in. We'll see if Moles puts a little bit more ground between them. Not very much, though, as they make their way into turns 1 and 2. KTJ still right there on Robert Ballou. Ballou fighting back once again to the outside.
Yeah, Justin Grant's finding a little bit of racing real estate on the bottom as he goes down the back straightaway. Jake Swanson's had a really good 2026, a solid run thus far.
Car slow into the front straightaway. That is the 77 of David Gasper. Fortunately, looks like he is going to come up short of making it to the entrance to the infield, and caution light's going to come on. Caution lights coming on with 6 laps completed. Top 4 drivers able to make it by the start-finish line before the caution light was called for. The 77 looked like for a moment was going to be able to limp his way to the entrance here just before turn number 1. Unfortunately, not the case, as Drake York was able to go down and yell down to the 77. We'll see if we have an update.
Saw a little bit of fluid coming out from underneath the 77S, and I think I heard you mention it there, Brian. David Gasper, to his credit, did try to make it to the infield. He was trying to wait for all the cars to pass on the inside of him. Unfortunately, by the time he had cleared all that traffic, he had missed the entrance to the infield here. And David, of course, just turning 21 a short while ago here in his first season in the Midwest. Of course, tonight with a little bit of extra moisture on the infield, the Indy Metal finishing work area is outside the racetrack, so he'll go to outside turn number 4, and I believe I saw Jaden Rogers headed that way too. We'll see if both of those cars are able to make it out of the Indy Metal finishing work area back onto the racetrack.
Yeah, you mentioned the Indy Metal finishing work area tonight. Normally in the infield on the outside, a lot of water pulled down here just on the entrance, as indeed Jaden Rogers in the number 14 has come to a rest just outside of the retaining wall.
Jaden's picked up some victories this year in competition outside of USAC, a former Rookie of the Year. You know, Brian, sometimes I think as fans we get frustrated, like, just pull in. It's a lot harder than it appears.
There's no radios in the two-way variety in this division, unlike Silver Crown, and you have no clue who's coming up. There's no mirrors, so the last thing you want to do is turn down and take out somebody else's race.
It's dicey. It's a lot more difficult than it appears. And David certainly made the effort, but just came up a little short.
Talking about Jaden Rogers, a couple of wins, Lincoln Park in weekly competition back in April, and then up with the USAC MRA Series at Red Hill. This past, been on May 9th, so that would have been 2 weeks ago. For Hulman starts, his last feature appearance was in 2014, a 17th. Unfortunately, looks like his night going to end with a DNF. Mitchell Moles leads. Chase Stock and Jake Swanson, Justin Graham, Robert Ballou, your top 5. Kevin Thomas Jr., C.J. Leary, J.J. Yeley, Kyle Cummins, and Hayden Reinbold, your top 10. Seavey, Osborne, Danner, Lewis, and Cale Coons, your top 15. Calderwood, Adams, Taylor, Rogers have been running in the 19th spot. That'll be Charles Davis Jr. with Hunter Maddox running up your top 20 as we're back underway. Here comes the 5T of Swanson, looking for the second spot. Justin Grant, look at the launch onto the back straightaway. Wow. Oh, contact! Look out, into the wall. Grant into the outside wall, Swanson into the bottom. They made contact, battling for the second spot.
Boy, I'm really looking to see if we got to replay that one. That was sort of an unusual come together.
That was a doozy, as they say. Justin Grant looking as he rolls down the front straightaway. Everything, of course, looks to be straight. The rear bumper caved in just a tick where he went up and tagged the wall. And Swanson remains in his inland rigging number 5 machine. They'll get him on the hook, get him down to the independent finishing work area. And indeed, we do have a replay coming up here on the FloRacing broadcast on the big screen down here in the infield. Justin gets a run. Unfortunately, right rear makes contact with the left front. It just absolutely destroys the steering on the number 5. You can see the front end just lay down.
But beyond that, the issue is that Justin kept rolling.
Grant, you can see he had such incredible bite. It was tied off of the right rear. It was picking up the front end and kind of lurching him up to the right. And at that point, he was on the way by. Front tires dangling.
Yeah, we had to sort of replay that because really what we were doing up here was holding our breath.
That's about the best way to put it. Little towed in, looks like.
A little bit.
So the rear end's a little caved in. It looked like from that angle the front end might have a little bit of a toe-in problem. It's going to make her a little darty. Of course, depending on the angle, it kind of changes there. Real quick, an update, I believe, from Drake.
Yeah, Brian, I too am getting a good look at the 4 of Justin Grant's car, and everything looks pretty straight. The bumper, as you mentioned, is pushed in towards the tail tank just a little bit, as now the 5T of Jake Swanson making his way to the Indy Metal finishing work area. And Brian, they really needed a good run here at the Hulman after a tough weekend at the Eldora Speedway during Let's Race 2. Dropped them all the way down to 5th in points, so that Daming Swanson team is going to hustle here and try to get their driver back out.
Indeed, 13th and 15th place finish at Eldora.
And, you know, Jake's trying to run the show. Jake's trying to build a race team. He's been trying to drive it, doing all the things that go with that. That's a lot of pressure on one individual. It's not an arrive and drive situation, and performance matters always, but in this case, it's just trying to keep that team afloat.
60 seconds on the clock. He does have a couple of wins. Of course, USAC National score of Volusia to start the season. The No Way Out 40 at Paragon went to victory lane there as well. His 7th Hulman start. He was 5th in this event last year. His best run a 2nd in this event. So hopefully they can make repairs, get the front end equipment swapped out, and get it back on the racing surface. In the meantime, Mitchell Moles leads the way. Stocken running in 2nd. Swanson had been running in 3rd. Grant was running in 4th. Grant now going to take over that 3rd spot as he was able to continue on. Ballou in 4th. Kevin Thomas Jr. in 5th. C.J. Leary in 6th. J.J. Yeley in 7th. Kyle Cummins in 8th. Hayden Reinbold in 9th. And Logan Seavey now should round out your top 10.
You know, unlike when you're in your passenger car and you smoke a curb or you bump something, you wonder whether or not you did something to your tire, your suspension, and you spend a little moment or two trying to sort it out in your own mind before maybe pulling over. One clear indication that these are just different animals than the rest of us average bears is what Justin Grant's going to do right now is try to take off on this long front straightaway at Terre Haute and just see how quickly he can get in turn number 1. That's something that most of us would not deign to do at this point.
No, but sprint car drivers
wired differently.
Yes, very much so. Proof in that, you had Rico over the weekend win with the Outlaws. Oh, by the way, collapsed the ladder about 6 laps in.
Wasn't that something?
And was able to drive to a win. So sometimes tweaking her makes her just a little bit quicker.
Well, it can't happen. We'll see. But the launch that Justin got was amazing.
The diamond he did through there to get to the bottom, and like I said, unfortunately, when he got there, it just lifted the front of the car, and he started turning up to the right. And unfortunately, Swanson was there. Contact made as they'll go single file through the NOS Energy start can. Mitchell Moles brings it back to speed.
Yeah, so many of us have our eyes on Justin right now to see how he handles going to turn number 2.
So far, handling's good. He's got to run onto the back straightaway. He's looking for 2nd once again. He's going to roll by the 92 of Stocken. Takes it off into turns 3 and 4. Short slides up across the nose. Stocken going to try to return the favor down to the bottom through turns 3 and 4. Race for silver here to the front straightaway. Advantage going to be to Justin Grant. Now Stocken going to throw the slide once again, this time into turns 1 and 2. Both drivers able to close in on Mitchell Moles there for just a second.
Well, Justin Grant was not afraid to make that same move again, was he, Brian? He did it, and now in a great battle with Stocken.
Yeah, they're going to go back and forth. That is going to allow Moles now to kind of regroup and regain some of that momentum and distance here. 9/10 of a second last time at the start-finish line. He'll come around 1.138 seconds to the good, and the Moose Racer number 92 is not done. He's going to take the line away from Grant. He's able to pin the car down to the bottom all the way at the exit turn number 2. Grant had to get on the binders, but again, he's able to get the drive into 3. But man, Stocken not done, says no sir, no thank you, it's mine, you can't have it. As they come around to the front straightaway, he holds on a 2nd.
Chase always presents as such a mild-mannered guy. He puts on the helmet, and look what he can do. Now Grant swings to the outside to mix it up.
It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. When that helmet goes on, the horns come out, and they absolutely get after it. And right now, Stocken digging, working the bottom side of the speedway through turns 3 and 4. Justin Grant now has new company. Kevin Thomas Jr. trying to close into that Majestic Electric Rock City Racer number 3R. He's going to work the bottom side of the speedway. The 3P of Kyle Cummins giving chase to them. Cummins had fallen back on the start. In fact, he was all the way back to 9th at one point, and now trying to make his way back forward.
So it looks like Justin Grant's going to try to regroup as he tries to make some forward movement on the leaders. Chase got a little sideways coming out of form.
Boy, he did really sideways. Thought he was going to steer down to the wall there for a second. Grant kind of reevaluating his line, and he has found another one in turns 1 and 2. Not quite to the top, not quite to the bottom. He's not really running the middle. He was able to really get a launch onto the front straight or onto the back straightaway. Now he's going to diamond her down just a little bit. Exit turn number 4. Trying to close back in on stock, and he's going to do so just a couple of car lengths back as Mitchell Moles has only gained just a few tenths of a second. He's at 1.643 right now over that race for the 2nd spot with 12 laps in.
A lot of veterans remember when Terry Pletch won right in the middle of the racetrack, but we are under yellow.
For Yeley, steam pouring out of the number 51.
Looks like Harley Burns is also pulled in and out.
So J.J. Yeley coming to a rest on the topside exit turn number 2. Yeley had been running in the 7th position, so he had a really good run going here tonight. He was in a battle with Robert Ballou for the 6th spot. Unfortunately, looks like the engine may have let go.
he's inching towards that cutoff where an active driver could be considered for the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. Many of you know what that is. 12 laps in the books.
Talk about the close calls with Grant. KTJ also with some pretty close calls out there.
Yeah, KT's doing a great job. He's right there in the mix.
Caution lights are going down. I mentioned Cummins had fallen back a little bit at the start, but Drake, he's starting to march his way back forward.
Yeah, he is. He looks good right now, and I talked to Kyle just before he hopped in the car. They've been having brake issues all night. They've taken apart the whole braking system on that race car 2 or 3 times tonight, but Kyle was confident that they had found the solution to that. And as you said, Brian, he's regaining steam. He runs in 5th here on this restart.
See if he can make his way a little bit further forward, see if he can utilize the restart. 12 laps completed, 30 laps the distance. Moles, Stocken, Grant, KTJ, Cummins, Ballou, now Leary in 7th, Reinbold in 8th. CV and Danner, your top 10 through the NOS Energy start cam. We're back underway. Kevin Thomas Jr. again tries the bottom on Justin Grant for 3rd. Grant finds that line in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Going to pull right up alongside the Moose Racer number 92. Who's going to have the advantage this time into turns 3 and 4? Stocken goes down, takes the line away. Grant has to settle back into 3rd as Moles up and tries to run away.
But he doesn't. Moles did not run away there, and all of a sudden he's got a little bit more pressure than he's had in the last few laps.
Stocken trying to keep pace with your leader. Like you said, he really closed in turns 1 and 2. Moles up around about the middle groove here as they make their way around to the front straightaway. Stocken moving his line around. Kevin Thomas Jr., hello, he's looking for 3rd. He's going to work by Justin Grant into number 1. Grant going to try to muscle back by on the outside. The NOS Energy number 4. Does he have the run? No. It's going to be the Majestic Electric number 3. He's going to bolt right up into that 3rd spot. Grant back to 4th. And it's going to be Cummins at 5th. Ballou, Reinbold, Leary, Osborne, and Seavey right now your top 10.
So let's see what KTJ can do now if he gets a little separation from Justin Grant. That's the most separation he's had in 1 and 2.
Look at the drive by Kevin Thomas Jr. Just absolutely pulls away from Grant. It's starting to close on Stocken here. KTJ hungry for a win here in the national scene. He's gone to victory lane 3 times, but that has been with USAC CRA and Southwest. His last win coming back in April, and that was out of Central Arizona with the CRA series. He is closing up on Stocken's number 92. Battle going on behind them between Robert Ballou and Kyle Cummins for the 5th spot. Advantage going to be to the 12 right now as they work into turns 3 and 4. Chase for 2nd, still Stocken in command.
Let's see if KTJ goes down to the bottom right there in 1 and 2 like he has. As he tries to run down Chase Stocken. Stocken holds that position though.
He entered the middle of 1. He went down and grabbed the moisture at the exit to number 2, closed a couple of car lengths. 3 and 4, Stocken seems to be just a little bit better, though, as they come around to the near side of the speedway. Mitchell Moles, in the meantime, 1.3 seconds to the good last time around, 1.454 seconds right now as they complete lap number 18.
So Mitchell Moles, powering down the back straightaway, has found his mojo again. Raisin City, California driver looking stout.
Coming around, putting 19 in the books. Moles leading, Stocken in 2nd. Kevin Thomas Jr. in 3rd, Justin Grant in 4th, Robert Ballou in 5th, Kyle Cummins running in the 6th spot right now. CJ Leary finds himself in 7th with Reinbold Hunting in 8th, Ricky Lewis in 9th, Trey Osborne in 10th, Briggs Danner in 11th, Cale Coons in 12th, Logan Seavey in 13th, Calderwood in 14th, Charles Davis Jr. right now is your top 15. Mentioned Reinbold on the hunt. He tried to look to the inside of CJ Leary last time around. He's still right there close, but loses some ground this time at the exit of the 4th turn. As Leary's going to go up and try to reel in Kyle Cummins, moving his line around. He entered to the top. He's going to go down to the bottom, and he's going to make up several car links right now when Levante windows the doors number 3.
Well, in a matter of a few laps, Mitchell Moles, we know, has been a professional fisherman, will have the tools necessary to pursue hunting. Let's see what he does as he goes down the back straightaway.
This one has eluded him. He's been close a couple of times to winning. Oh, problems. Driver slow in the back straightaway and down into the infield. Looks like he will clear and will stay green. Apologies, did not catch the car number before it ducked down onto the apron. Looking back a little bit here, Ballou, Cummins, Leary all right there under a blanket onto the front straightaway. Ballou running that 5th spot. Leary 6 at the line by .059 over Cummins. Cummins trying to look to his inside. Boy, look at the drive onto the back straightaway. Leary If it had doors, it would have taken it off of the 12 on the way by. Leary up into the top 5 here. Starting to work into the closing laps. 23 completed, 30 the distance.
Yeah, 2.6 second advantage for Mitchell Moles. It's been a pretty good few weeks for that team.
Leary able to enter to the top, and again just slices it all the way across down to the bottom, catches that moisture at the exit turn number 2. He's going to try to reel in Justin Grant. Difference between them last time was a little over 2 seconds. Grant trailing Kevin Thomas Jr. by just shy of a second last time around. As Mitchell Moles, 2.764 seconds to the good. They'll come around this time to a fistful shown and 5 to go.
Now 5 away for the biggest win of his USAC career by far.
Absolutely hammering the high side of this racetrack. Got the momentum wound up like an old school slingshot. He just keeps getting faster and faster each time by. Takes it out to over 3 seconds over Chase Stockin. Moles, victory lane at the start of the month up at the class track. That's one that had eluded him. He'd been close. They finally got the package figured out. Can he finally add Terre Haute to the list? It's not over till the Fat Lady sings. We got 4 more laps to find out if she's tuned up and ready to go.
Yeah, he's in the rhythm right now. That's the absolute zone he's in, and he looks unstoppable as he begins to cross the line one more time.
He'll start to close in on Charles Davis Jr., the 47, being shown in the 15th position right now. He'll work onto the back straightaway comfortably over 3.5 seconds. Stockin still running that second spot, and he's got an over 3-second advantage over Kevin Thomas Jr. Justin Grant, in the meantime, last time around was right up on KTJ, and he's still right there as they come around to the front straightaway. Grant getting the NOS Energy number 4, pedaling a little bit here in the closing laps, trying to get up and grab a podium finish away from Kevin Thomas Jr. He works down to the bottom. KTJ to the outside, advantage to the 3 once again with 2 to go.
Well, KTJ, who once finished in a flat tie in points at the end of the year, lost by virtue of victories, knows every point matters.
White flag has flown. Your leader going to work to the back straightaway. Silver, the closest he has come here at Terre Haute tonight. He'll trade it in for a pot of gold, $10,000 into the pocket of Mitchell Moles. He's the winner in the 56th running of the Tony Hulman Classic. Chase Stockin going to cross in second. Third goes to Kevin Thomas Jr. Fourth to Justin Grant. C.J. Leary, unofficially your top 5. Kyle Cummins crossing in 6th. Robert Ballou in 7th. Hayden Reinbold in 8th. Briggs Danner and Cale Coons unofficially rounding out your top 10.
Nice effort in the Hulman Classic for Cale Coons.
By 4.388 seconds. I believe Merriam-Webster defines that as a whooping.
He set the hook, and he reeled it in.
14th start of the season, his 2nd win on the year, his 9th top 5, and his 12th top 10. Comes in his 167th career start. And the right rear, done. On the number 19, that Hoosier is down on the rim.
Died a hero.
His 61st top 5, his 125th career top 10, and his 7th career victory with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship.
We got the Grand Marshal making his way in.
He's going to climb up top, and the coveted rifle is going back to California. Ladies and gentlemen, Mitchell Moles, your winner of the Hulman. I don't know who's happier, if it's Mitchell or his car owner, Andy Reinbold.
Yes. The answer is yes. Mitchell Moles picks up his first career Hulman Classic victory in the nick of time. The right rear sits down here flat in victory lane. Not another lap could have gone by for this 19AZ, and absolutely perfect timing For the driver out of Raisin City, California, his first Tony Hulman Classic rifle for himself, his first Tony Hulman Classic rifle for his car owner, Andy Reinbold. What a day to put this in victory lane for Mitchell Moles and Reinbold Underwood Motorsports. What a race it was. Tony Hulman rifle is easily one of the most coveted trophies in non-wing sprint car racing. How good does it feel to stand atop the cage of this 19AZ?
Yeah, man, this is where I cut my teeth with Andy. We lost one to CJ, as you know. You guys were probably very happy that night going home. Lost one kind of the same way, and I told Andy if I was ever back in that position again, I wasn't going to lose it. I knew what to do. I knew what I did wrong, and I love money and I love guns, so this one's a really good one for us. So happy for my whole team. My guys been working really hard. They battle adversity. They battle with problems I give them. Even before that, I was trying to talk them out of everything they're doing to the car, and Andy kind of just gave me the look. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll go away. But yeah, I mean, we can't thank Spike, Eric Stanton, as always. He's so great to us, and he gives us all the power here. FK Shocks, Reinbold Development, obviously Amy Electrical, Andy and Tammy. She's at home. Hi, Tammy. My mom, my dad, my brother. Have a lot of friends at home that don't get to come to a lot of these races, so pretty awesome to hold it off. Obviously, the tire was going flat, but had enough to finish, so I'm happy to say that.
You mentioned that race a couple of years ago where you made your first AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car feature start here at the Terre Action Track. It was 4 years ago to this very day that you ran second in that race on May 20th, 2022. What a better way to avenge that feeling.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's always, when you mess something up, it's always good to come back. I didn't think it would take me 4 years later, but we checked off Hobstadt, and now Terre Haute, Andy does not have a win at. So Lawrenceburg, I feel like I've been the closest at other than here. So very happy about that. We got to check that one off. But like I said, my guys, Dylan, Paul, Andy, Porterhouse, Jacob, Tristan, the whole guys, they never give up on me. And I mean, Andy let me crash a bunch of stuff to get to this point. So this win's really for him, and happy for everybody as a whole, as my team. It's going to be a great night.
It took 25 laps to catch the tail of the field, and everything had gone exactly according to plan up to that point. How difficult was it to resist the urge to change what you were doing?
Oh, I was going to crash it in traffic. I didn't care. Yeah, no, I wasn't going to give up or slow down. That's how you lose these races. And to beat guys like Chase and Robert and Justin, and there's a lot of Kyle Cummins. Those guys have all been really so good here. So very, very, very happy to pull this one off, and hopefully it's many to come.
He's taking the rifle to Raisin City. That's Mitchell Moles. He's your winner of the Tony Hulman Classic here at the Terre Haute Action Track in 2026. Let's get it over to Drake York.
A strong runner-up for Chase Stockin in the Moose Racing 92. And Chase, you told me that was all you had in the Moose 92, but there were so many good battles between you and Justin Grant throughout that race. Take us through those heart-pounding laps. I think you said you probably had a heart rate of 185 just because of the tightness and the close calls that you had with that Top Motorsports number 4.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Justin and I have had a lot of great battles here over the years, and, you know, he ran me hard tonight, and, you know, just was happy to get back out in front of him there and try to run Mitchell down, but, you know, that wasn't going to happen, and, you know, Justin kind of got me to elevate my game a little bit there and kind of move around, search a little bit, and kind of seen him poking his nose a little bit after I got back by him that second time, and just tried to put my car where it needed to be. And but you know, that 19 AZ was class of the field tonight, and you know, Steve Willoughby and Tom Laurie got staying in the pits tonight. Moments by Morgan, Brown Brothers Excavating, Lucas Oil Centers Evansville, Engler, David Meats. You know, all the guys on the side of this car help us out. You know, we tried to give him another rifle and come up just a little bit short, but definitely nothing to hang our heads about. And, you know, hopefully everybody enjoyed that show from second on back.
You told me you had a second place car and you brought it home second, especially as you know as well as anybody how important is it to capitalize on those nights where you maybe don't have the winning car, but you can still bring home a podium finish when you're chasing a USAC championship.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of nights you're running second, try to go for a win, or you get pounced on, and, you know, you can take a second place car and run 12th with it. So, you know, I'm very fortunate. The Moose Racing 92 team gave me a really good race car, and, you know, luckily the night I was smart enough to put it in the right spots.
Chase Stockin, a former winner of this event, will have to settle for second here this evening as he will finish runner-up to Mitchell Moles. Over to Christy Leary.
Kevin Thomas Jr. brings it home in the third position for this Hulman Classic in 2026. A previous winner of this race a few years ago. A little bit of wheeling and dealing there for third between yourself and Justin Grant. How important was it to make a decision and just stick to it?
I mean, I felt like it was fairly important. You know, I stuck to, I guess, my game plan there at the beginning, and eventually just gave up, and I had to change lines and stuff. But it's like, you know, we had good speed early, and then we didn't qualify well, and then we worked on some stuff and changed some things around, and kind of did some stuff that's not abnormal, but different than what we've been doing, just to try to get a handle on this thing. And Terre, Haute ain't been our greatest track. Eldora last week, I'm pretty sure we're still finishing that feature. So it's like just throwing stuff at it and trying to get better at our craft before the super important week shows up. And I felt like I was really good there and at the beginning, and probably the last 5 or 8 laps it gave up a little bit, but then had to jump up and just kind of run their line. And once Chase got away from me, wide open around here is wide open, so you're not gonna really reel those guys in as quick as what you want to unless you got to restart. So but all in all, thanks to my guys and just steadily working on this thing, I can be somewhat negative at times, and I just appreciate them sticking behind me, and all of our partners too, with Majestic Electric, Brad Alexander with FK Shocks, Bird Inland Rigging, a lot of people, Lucas Oil, Mach 1, Stanton Race Engines. Talked to Eric right before the feature, and he kind of led me in the right direction. So much appreciated by all those guys, and we'll just try to go and be a little bit better tomorrow.
Really great run there for Kevin Thomas Jr. and his Rocksteady Racing 3R, third on the podium at Terre Haute for the Hulman.
Cale Coons was your Rod and Supply hard charger on the evening, going plus 8, 18th to 10th. And Cale, we saw a lot of the drivers towards the front of the field utilizing a bunch of options to make speed and make passes. What were you doing throughout the midfield and eventually into the top 10 to make moves?
Yeah, I kind of early just struggled. Even early in the night we struggled, and qualified bad and put us back in the back. But yeah, we made as good out of it as we could. Kind of just started off slow and kind of bid my time. And yeah, at the end I kind of ran cut down to 1 and 2, and I felt like found that when I was trying to get by Calderwood for a little bit, and that really helped me get caught up to guys on the back straightaway when they were through the slick and off the top. So yeah. Good night. Got to see Clint out here and have a decent run for him. Those guys, who couldn't thank them enough for what they do for me and the 63 guys and curb records and mechanical advantage and everybody else on this thing.
Cale Coons with a strong run, 18th to 10th, nets him the Rod and Supply hard charger here for the Tony Hulman Classic. Once again, rounding out the podium in third was Kevin Thomas Jr., Chase Stockton in second, and your winner of the 56th annual Tony Hulman Classic, Mitchell Moles.
Thank you very much. Moles in victory lane. Chase Stockton in second. Kevin Thomas Jr. in third. Justin Grant in fourth. C.J. Leary in fifth tonight. Kyle Cummins in sixth. Seventh with Robert Ballou. 8th to Hayden Reinbold. 9th to Briggs Danner. And Cale Coons, your top 10. Ricky Lewis in 11th. Trey Osborne in 12th. Logan Seavey in 13th. 14th, Logan Calderwood. 15th, Charles Davis Jr. 16th, Max Adams. 17th, Hunter Maddox. 18th was Jack Hoyer. 19th was J.J. Yeley. And Harley Burns, your top 20. Jake Swanson, Jaden Rogers, Adam Taylor, and David Gasper unofficially rounding out your field. Until tomorrow when we head up to Circle City Raceway, the week of Indy continuing here with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. On behalf of everybody here with the Terre Haute Action Track, the entire crew with the United States Auto Club, and the crew down at Studio 56, my name is Brian Holbert saying good night, good luck, and God bless.